BCJ. Yay. Second. Marked. Dab. Finesse. Aaron. Victor. Cryo. Crash cheese. Psycho. Checked.
This crowd has not forgotten what Xset did to one of their most beloved teams. It was noticeably quieter during their walkouts today.
Yeah, it really was. And I mean, this matchup, we've seen it so many times. Now the 6th edition, but this is the very first time these two teams will face each other in front of a crowd.
Yeah, it's amazing to think about it, but just given everything that we've been dealing with over the last 2 years, it's just the reality that we're in. But while it might be the first time with a crowd involved, it is not the first. As we point out, these guys are so damn familiar with each other, which is why I'm very much hoping and believing that this is going to be a 3-map juggernaut of a series.
We can only hope, right?
Yeah, you can only hope for it. And I mean, I think with the caliber of players in the server, we could expect it. I mean, you have probably 2 of the best chambers in this tournament left. And North American chamber players have been popping off here at Champions. And it's Yay versus Cryocells to start things off. You also have such a strong dive head-to-head between Young Zekin and between Victor as well. I mean, there are just so many heavy hitters in this server.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest statements you could do right now as your Optic getting ready for this series, if you want to fully, as we're talking about, affirm yourself as being the #1 team from North.
Last time Victor played Phoenix, but it is historically his most played agent, and he's had extraordinary success on it in the past. But honestly, it might not even be the Phoenix that's the weirdest part about this comp, because doubling up the Killjoy in the chamber is such an extraordinarily defensive-sided setup. And look at this, a hard read on the B pistol.
Yeah, just holding the flash. Victor's making sure that they've got this read, and there we go, right around the corner, into the trap that was set up prior. Sort of making a good job of things, being able to trade out a lot of these kills, but the spike is going to be dropped into the front side of the B side, and this is a difficult scenario to wiggle your way out of if you are Xset. In a 2v3. Not a lot of life on Cryo as well. He's got to try and find a lot of first shot accuracy. Maybe a headshot or 2. Horn. It's going to be dealt with soon enough, but it's so difficult to get past this one. To isolate the fights, and just like that, the players crumble one after the other. Optic going to be taking the pistol round.
And what a beautiful pistol round it was. Completely reading the tendencies from Xset, despite the fact they have no tape to work off.
Yeah.
Xset have not been playing this comp. They didn't used to enjoy going for B-site pistol hits, but for whatever reason, FNS starts out with a masterful IGL read to kick us off. Stacks 3 players there with a flash to be ready for it, and despite the great trading from Xset, you just can't overwhelm that kind of a read.
Yeah, I love the stat as well. It just popped up there about these being our only 2 undefeated teams left at Champs. Last time Optic were in a position like this, they made it all the way to the finals. That was at Berlin 2021, where they eventually ended up losing to Mech, but went on that undefeated run in the past.
And while we've just got a little bit of downtime here, with Optic expected to clean this round up fairly easily, look at how the alarm bot and the trademark are just filling in gaps on this defense.
Yeah.
You don't really need to worry about B too much, although Victor's in that general area. You have a turret watching garage, trademark down short so that they can double up long. This is such a good comp for defense side. I don't even want to start theory crafting the attack yet, but this is going to be a serious challenge for Xset to deal with, and not something they could have been expecting, I don't think.
Just that additional layer, that defensive utility to get through.
And this is a very slow-paced round from Xset.
Yeah.
It feels to me like they're trying to preempt a push from Victor. Back when he used to play Phoenix, Victor would get so aggressive on Phoenix, always pushing. Quite a greedy player as well. But since he spent more time with Optic, he's really refined his playstyle a lot, become much more of an all-round player, and not anywhere near as readable, much more playing within FNS's system. 20
seconds left, Xset, you got to get a move on, you got to make a decision now, and it looks like the decision might just be to see split. Not a lot of time on the clock. FNS is going to be ready and waiting, anchoring it down. Paranoia sent through as a rendezvous, but not a lot of time at all. Let's see if they can get that trade coming through.
One enemy remaining.
Is there quite a lot of economical damage? You can see players are going to be falling. Cryo even picking up a gun, but actually going to be falling down.
And that was an unusual round too. Extremely cautious.
Felt like they were almost poking and prodding to find out where somebody's setups are as well.
Did they?
They did a little bit of poking towards garage.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like actually acquiring information, they know that the turret's been played in garage, but there's been a different setup in B. You know, the alarm bot was there on that round, but prior to that, it was a stack. And Optic just have so many ways that they can mix this up. Take a look at what they're up to on the bonus round. Alarm bot continues to be at front B, but this time Victor perhaps looking to play aggressive, or at least for the orb over on A long.
One taken out, fault line to push Optic away from the angle. Not giving easy access to that orb for Optic as well, and a deeper smoke, but it is slow. It's the name of the game right now for Xset. Xset just not making sure give away too many free kills.
And you contrast this to how they used to play on Haven with the jet and the double flash. It definitely feels much more cautious, giving a lot of respect here to this unusual composition by Optic. And that smoke that Marv just put down in A long makes it feel like there could be anybody creeping up behind it.
Yeah, you really got to be worried about that one.
Chamber battle for the first time in this series.
Slight jiggle of the movement. Yeah, he did spot something there.
I think Cryo did as well.
Yeah. And there's so much respect being shown to either side. In fact, we're now starting to see moves being made on A long and mid. Flash to reclear here from Victor.
But as
an overstep himself.
As the time ticks down here, they haven't broken alarm bot. There's still a Haunt Prowler to be used. Paranoia. Big tools for Optic to stop any pushes coming
30
through.
seconds left.
And this push might just get bogged down immediately. The Nanoswarm will get popped off. That was off of the alarm bot going down. And players have worked their way in. Zekon onto the high ground. FNS is none the wiser. It's going to be the first casualty of this one, and the Molly's just going to be going a bit wide. It's a heavy piece of utility to lay down. Aftershock as well, pushing back any sort of approach.
And in the meantime, look at Cryo's lurk. He's got his way all into C, and Ye is watching for it. He's watching for a garage lurk.
And there's a faster play even into the backside of B. They want to be trying to take the fight
They're
straight
just walking
to
next to each other.
Yep, walking right next to each other. Cryo, patience. Just holding down the one angle now. Backs away, but Xset with the better weaponry seem like they are going to be winning this one out pretty handedly. Victor, at some point in this round, managed to get his ultimate, but a quick spray down. Position is far too obvious.
I don't think he'll be too sad about using a running back in round 3, though. It feels like a decent investment to me. Just try and get them online as much as possible, funnel orbs into Victor. If you're going to play Phoenix, you need to play into the win conditions. And overall, not a terrible bonus, but Xset at least demonstrating that they were able to find a gap in the defense there. They found the alarm bot and pivoted through it. This was such a weird moment. Yeah, Cryo just happened to walk exactly next to each other when the timing could have favored either of them. And look at this big push down mid.
Straight down mid. This is with guns in the hands of the Optic players. Aggression, this is quite unexpected, but BCJ was watching the angle. Final bullet, do the job, straight to the cranium and backing away, making sure that Prowler did latch onto a target, so they know that there was more aggression pushed up behind that one in mid.
I can definitely tell you that that is a 2020 Victor Phoenix play. The North American Phoenix walk down mid strat has been tried many times before and repelled in similar manners. Xset now making sure that they freeze the round. Make it difficult for Optic to grab much more information. BCJ with the Nightfall online could be a great tool to use. And FNS, in terms of like the ultimate here, it's not going to get too much value in this map overall because of that aftershock that Def can play with. So the lockdown is not a great retake ultimate. In fact, just in general, Optic shouldn't be wanting to play retake, and it looks like they might have to again.
Yeah.
As Xset once more, for the third time in 4 rounds, going towards the B site.
It's a completely free site. They got the right read on it. The early presence they were showing at least over towards. Hey, that spray down. I mean, Marv's getting away with murder. How are you able to collect that one?
Just beautiful prediction.
They have to deal with Cryo now. Playing at the back of the side of Gong here, and he's managed to work his way behind them. They are none the wiser. Bit of spam coming down from the bottom of mid. Second finding the targets, and they are all blinded up. Cryo quick tap onto the spike means that he has to show a bit of patience. He has to try and lock this down, but now it's come down to a 1v1. FNS has got it. 3 kills in the round. A quick tap to try and bait the position, but Def is not going to be baited by it. And he buys his time at the right moment. And FNS is just weak enough. It's collected a nice, easy round. At least it should be. It should have been, in theory.
Overall, they're really good game plan by Xset. It comes down to the 1v1, the battle between the 2 IGLs. And while FNS landed a great blow on the pistol round, actually, Xset have been doing a great job at managing how they attack and find the holes.
Way to play, Ryan! Way to fucking play.
So that has knocked Optic back down onto a Thrifty. The first time in this map. They're going for a gamble stack over towards the C side with only FNS around here with a Sheriff in hand. And doesn't really look like he has the tools to hold on if this was a bit pacier, but Xset have been very cautious.
Super cautious, and there's good reason for it. They don't
Not
want to
this
be running
time.
into the stack, yeah, but a Nightfall, they're going to get the information. Only one singular player on this site. FNS already out of the picture. Plan's going to go down without a hitch.
Once again, even with the double Sentinel comp, Optic are playing retake.
A bit unconventional. FNS does have that lockdown, but I don't think he's going to want to invest it into this round, especially when he's up on Heaven. Prowler's going to be finding at least one of the targets. How are they going to be able to get through all of this? Into Heaven, a good flash to supplement it. FNS just drops down at his feet. He's still alive in the mix of this one, but the weapons are not too good, and it's a nice spray down in the end. Aaron and BCJ so clean with the trades.
This tournament has been so much better from Aaron and BCJ. Def as well, throw him into the mix. But overall, I want to come back to this point. Optic are now going to take a timeout after 5 rounds, and I think their entire game plan is crumbling a little bit here. Even when they play other compositions, just across all maps, Brent, Optic are playing less than half the time for retake. There is no other team in the tournament that denies people getting the spike down as well as Optic. With a double Sentinel composition, with the Chamber, with the Killjoy, that's the style you want to be going for. You fight people as they plant, you anchor sites effectively and use your Sentinel utility. You always have info from those Sentinels with which to implement rotations. Unfortunately, they are playing retake all the time here, and they don't have a comp for it. The Des was talking about it, Mimi said, you know, once you lose that other initiator, once you lose the raise, your retakes are going to be so much poorer.
It is an odd game plan, isn't it? I think Xset have been doing a great job, though, of the push and pull of the players. The slow play that they've been making towards A as well has been pushing out, you know, deeper players when they've been wanting Ye on the Chambers to be holding down A long.
Yeah.
They've been doing a great job, I think, of just either denying info early and making sure that the players are anchoring in positions exactly where they want them.
And for me, it feels like Def is trying to get the read on where the Killjoy utility alone is holding info. And from there, you can explode, because once you break the utility, there's nobody behind it. So that's why they've been prodding towards Garage and towards B so much on their attack side. They're trying to look for where the Killjoy utility is filling the gaps, and once you break the utility, you burst straight past it before Optic have a chance to inform the rotates.
This time FNS has taken a bit of a different approach. His utility is so far back in Garage, but all eyes on Ye. Operator. Nice high ground angle, going to be peering all the way down into the bottom of mid.
Smoke goes into back Garage. That is where the alarm bot was. Boombot here is trying to break the alarm bot. They don't know that it's a top Garage, and FNS is forced to play with his utility.
And while all this is going on as well, Josh, there is space that is taken. Pushed up into A long. Optic are playing aggressively now. It's Victor and Crashies together.
First time that they've tried something like this.
And do Xset have the discipline to clear this again. They have utility that they could use.
Prowler here is the main tool that you want to use in this spot, although you could try and flash peek in.
Jiggle peek. Def could overstep himself here. On the cusp, and there it is. Just swings himself out wide. A nade, Paranoia, and the Prowler, but it's a counter. Paranoia just flying straight back at the BCJ! Oh my goodness. The big guy buff in action. Bit of run and gun there, giving ammunition to, well, the
Phantom
opposition.
nerfs of the future.
Yeah, supposedly.
What a play. I mean, really good work. Using all of that util to clear out the gap.
They're going to make it into a completely different direction here. With only 20 seconds remaining, it could still get very dangerous because guess what? Yeah, he's still anchoring the side and he's got the operator in his hand and it has thrown a wrench into this plan. The spike is just everywhere right now with Marv lurking his way into all of these deep angles. There's 9 seconds remaining in this round. Not enough time to try and get the spike down. And Xset's game plan, it just crumbles beneath their very eyes.
One enemy remaining.
The crowd getting behind Optic there as well as they tie things back up 3-3. Funneling people into Ye could well be a win condition for them.
Yeah, the slower play by Xset though, that is where it backfires the most.
Certainly. I mean, after they did such a good job of clearing this out as well, you'd expect them to go forwards into A. Yep. You've taken the players on lobby, but getting a bit overthinking things perhaps.
Yeah, I would say so.
But Optic still with a really poor economy. Look at this, a Spectre and a Judge to work with here.
It's not ideal. They're going for a bit of a haunt into the molly as well. I mean, there's not much synergy with that because Zekken just skips past it with the satchel. Disrespecting all the utility.
It's another hard read from FNS as well. He's worked his way with the Judge down into C Cubby. And the Killjoy and the Chamber utility are all piled on top of each other. Can Xset get the read on this one before falling prey to Ye once more? He's only been playing C. You'd think they'd mix up his positioning much more on the map. Especially when they can afford to with all the util at play, but he's played quite statically so far on the defense.
Yeah, and still such a cautious tale being played by Xset. Down into a minute in this round, there's been no attempt of poking really into Garage, trying to remove a lot of that utility, or even to C, but now making the move over towards A.
And this
is
is again
still contact plays.
Yeah, and again, it's an A retake setup that makes some level of sense this time, though, because Def with the Rolling Thunder.
Crash is holding for a haunt lineup. Wow. Don't know where the hell that's going to land.
That is a filthy haunt lineup.
Yeah, it looks kind of disgusting in theory over the top. And it has lit up the players. Zekken still makes his mark, though. Plays into the side with a showstopper and does get rewarded. It's the kill for his team. Still the spike needs to get planted here with only 25 seconds remaining. Go down now, setting themselves up into the post-plant situation, and players now finally starting to rotate on the side of Optic. Flash through the floor, makes them rethink their choices. But a nightfall in the hands of Crashes. Now he wants to try and move this one forwards. The weapons are still not great, though. FNS is only working with the Judge. And there is no really follow-up over the nightfall.
Def has already used his aftershock, though, so this lockdown's got to be respected. As it ticks down with 5 seconds left, the Xset players all just funneled into long.
Yeah, and they're going to be playing into the corner here. This is going to be incredibly predictable. FNS just sticking onto the defuse. Where is the follow-up? Where is the denial? Oh, Def's going to be playing towards it. But it is half on a defuse. A perfect swing from Arin. And he plays off of it well enough.
Playing Xset, or playing Optic, sorry, like a fiddle there. They were forced to retake with a Judge and a Guardian.
Yeah.
And utilizing their Nightfall and Lockdown to no success. Wow. Brutal situation. This kill from Def.
It's a haunt to reveal all the positions as well.
Really gets everything done, and then they set up for a great post-plant wraparound play where Aaron's able to peek off short. This is looking dangerous for Optic.
I think it's looking more than dangerous, Josh. This composition is incredibly defensive-sided.
It looks to be. We've never seen this comp before, let's be clear.
Sure.
But when you look at it on paper, it does look like it should be favored on the defense. And Victor hasn't quite been able to have those big impact rounds on the Phoenix either. He's got to run it back in his hands now, but Optic are not normally great at these eco rounds.
And again, so slow. Listen, you thought EMEA was slow. Get a whiff of this. These guys are not willing to take too many early risks. And I think the reason why is probably going to be Ye with that tour de force in his hands.
Ye has been an absolute demon this tournament. played the first couple of rounds over on A, then was playing mostly towards C, now back at short. But in terms of his performance at this tournament so far, I mean, he's a candidate for, if the tournament ended right now, he'd be the candidate for best MVP performance of all time in Valorant.
I would agree with that.
I mean, I'll take you through those stats later on in a round where it's more applicable, I think, but for now, Xset making their way towards Garage, and maybe FNS can be the difference maker. He tried this spot with the Judge before, now only a shorty in hand, but there are two players heading his way.
When time gets low like this, there are weaknesses in the attacking approach that he executes. Sometimes you're just not going to be holding these angles as effectively, not going to be clearing it out, but no, it's watched for. Cryo locks down the one angle. Second though, pulled back there by the C's. BCJ instantly with a follow-up. But there is not a lot of time, only 11 seconds, but it doesn't look like there's anything again to push this back. A faster play once more through the smoke. Yeah, he tries to make the most of it, but again, an instant response. And that has been the game plan, honestly. It's felt like this entire tournament long for Xset. Incredibly clean fundamentals with the trading.
The trading from Xset has been marvelous. And this awareness is also fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, Xset's trading's just been unbelievable. This match in general, to me, outside of the crazy curveball we've been throwing with these comps, is like star power of Ye having his best tournament ever, arguably, versus the incredible teamwork and trading of Xset. They're the best team in the tournament so far, are just helping each other avoid those useless deaths.
And so grouped up. Raw instinct on show by Zekken, just spamming down the common angles. Bit of spam as well on the opposing side, why not?
Yeah, you talk raw instincts, we nearly lost both chambers at the start.
Oh, the attempt by Victor shut down immediately. Dude, the Xset players are so ready for it.
Yeah, incredibly ready, but also full blind. That wasn't an anti-flash position as far as I'm aware. They just spammed the angle where they knew Victor would be peeking.
Face your fear!
Just trying to make his mark here, but a Nightfall scatters it across. The attack approach, they're putting a lot of bullets in. How is the Boomer getting kills here? It is pure pandemonium across the map. Who knows what's occurring? FNS has worked his way behind them. They're trying to pincer Cryo. He's locking down the angle. He is so low though, and the spam.
Good sound bait.
They know exactly where he is. Yeah, FNS, he saw the gun barrel. The spike has planted. Now down to that 2v2.
Shadows traveling.
Xset are trying to take the opposite side of the map, and they have planted for it. Usually, this kind of post-plant setup doesn't work because you just plant in the default spot. They're ready, aware. FNS can clear some angles with the alarm bot and the turret.
BCJ though is taking up the position inside the smoke, just up through a long. You've got to suspect things now as well. The attempts being made. A C's was laid down at the feet of FNS. No audio cues in sight. And it is easy peasy for BCJ and Aaron. These guys, the supportive elements, the glue that holds Xset together.
I mean, they've just been having a world of difference compared to their Copenhagen performances. Zekken opens things up here, and you're always getting excellent stuff out of the stars, out of Zekken and Cryo, but that was the same at Copenhagen. This tournament, it's been those supportive players that have stepped up. They are the only team in the tournament with 3 players who get traded over 20% of the time. Their overall trading is so much better than everybody else. And that is Aaron, BCJ, Def. That's those guys putting that kind of performance up.
Yeah.
Working together as a unit to make sure that the sum is... The team is greater than the sum of its parts.
And they've still got that firepower behind them with Cryo and Zekken. That's the scary thing about Xset. It's already been tested many times over the course of this tournament, honestly. One of the big obstacles that was in their way was that inexperience that we talked about. You know, some young players didn't have a great performance at Copenhagen. But they've been making up for it. In fact, if there was any time that they would have crumbled, it probably would have been when they were up against Fnatic, who have been the crowd favorites. They've had that raw worked against them.
Yeah, the fact that Xset were able to deal with the crowd and beat the crowd even, you could argue. That was one of the most badass victories I've ever seen in Valorant. They just shut the crowd up completely. So earlier on, you saw Crashies getting spammed through the wall down to 1 HP. He got away with his life there. Overall, though, Optic have... They keep making the wrong reads. I feel like so much of this map so far has come down to Def being able to wiggle its way through FNS.
And FNS was just handed Cryo on a plate there. Should have been an easy kill. Victor wants to go for a faster retake with a paranoia into the back of the side. A molly over the top. He is going to give it a value, but nobody's really clearing the back of the site still. Time is low once more. Spike needs to get planted
10
here.
seconds left.
Revealing that position. What a shot by Crashies, but he is just one man against the world. On 1 HP, the sheriff in his hand, and there's going to be the triple face. Xset not willing to let anything else slip out of their hands.
And just look again at how that round plays out. Xset are able to get into C exactly as Optic leave. And that's been the whole, which are very attacker-sided. I don't know whether the same can be said for Phoenix, Killjoy, Chamber. Xset taking control of the tempo early with a bit of a Season 8 combo in mid-window. That doesn't find too much, and Victor's just looking around as he takes a bullet between the eyes.
I mean, just absolute gormless behavior.
He's just trying to clear the close corner, but the reason Victor looks so silly doing that is because Optic didn't actually have tools to set him up, to put him on the angle well.
You've only got the one initiator, and it's Crashies.
But also no smoke, no flash, these kind of things.
Fast play though into B now, and Ye might be able to get the angle. In fact, the shot found. He has revealed his position though, but there's a squeeze happening onto Dev, and surely doesn't get away with it still. Finding the one is pretty tremendous value for them. But Optic are in a good spot right now with this post-plan positioning. They've taken control of this one, but they are smoked off as well. They know that they were playing inside this one, just contacting into it. BCJ had to clear it, and it's flanks on flanks. This time Aaron's time to shine, I suppose, but 3 players waiting for him, and that is going to be the pistol round for Optic.
An absolutely necessary pistol round, and one in which you get to see the prowess of Ye. With a 4K there, puts himself up to 12 and 9 off the back of a lurk. So Victor dying just kind of sets Ye up for success. Honestly, Brent, that was their game plan when they played the Neon comps anyway.
Sure.
Victor's job is just to make space, and that's the resource that Ye uses. This could be a fabulous Chamber v Chamber battle. And there might be another clash happening again down C long right now.
Yeah, real opportunity, I think, for Optic. Get some rounds into their belt, but they are going to be clashing with a flash to clear through. Aaron fully blinded up. Able to get a bit of chip damage at the end of the day onto Victor, but the sole goal, it seems, for Optic is to try and farm up these orbs early as possible, especially when they're up against the weaker weaponry.
Cryo goes down to a long-range Bulldog shot.
Oh, yep.
And there's...
That's trying to go for that. Oh, you're just literally playing right into their hands right now, but Xset trying to swarm their way into the side. He's pulling Victor back, unable to plant.
There was definitely a moment there, wasn't there, Bren, where that looked
scary.
Yeah.
Spike planted.
It's getting scary.
But now just down to second. I'm going to get mopped up. And I think there's a lot of people, Brent, wondering, maybe not whether this match is going to define who's the best team from North America. You heard the desk talk about that, but whether or not Xset can take the next step.
Yeah.
They've gone consistently, moved up and up the ranks from top 4 in North America to representing NA in global tournaments to then beating top teams, including FPX here. And then going deep is the next step. Going deep in tournaments, making big runs, and being able to do that consistently.
It's always been the goal for this team, Xset. Long time coming for them. Sees nade into A lobby for a bit of early aggression, but it's just tempered. Baited out. There's a smoke drop down though, so it does force Optic to use a lot of utility to try and take A lobby control. You can see them finally now rushing, taking up all that space. And now they're backing away. In the aim of the game, it seems like it's going to be that mid control.
There is a trademark here. Yeah, he's aware of it. It's Def's job to hold on. If they go through Garage, they're going to be looking down the sight line that Cryo's holding as well. And Def in a good position to get a deep fault line that would set Cryo up for kills. All of the Prowlers right now being used over towards A lobby. So they're really lacking initiator utility to get into sites.
And it's a reliance on players like FNS just to try and contact play into areas. This time Optic throwing caution to the wind. They're just running their way in. Defto backs away. Safe play from him. Nanoswarm's now going to be dropped down, so it's pretty clear what the game plan of Optic seems to be.
And look at how Xset responded, immediately giving up a link, expecting Optic to fight for it, when instead Optic are actually playing at the top of C lane.
Surely they can bide their time. Ye wants to take point for them. One shot after the other, and all of his targets will fall. Victor ends up popping his own ultimate off. Aaron has come around the side here, but he's just one man. What can he really do? The Nanoswarm's making it a very difficult task ahead of him. Optic taking back position as well. Good game plan overall there to convert that round.
Yeah, really nice way of maneuvering into B. But it feels like Ye's woken up. Yeah. And that, I think, is the big difference maker in these past couple of rounds. The pistol, and then round 15. Watch this from Ye off the back of paranoia, but then instantly getting a trade kill. Wow. And just able to use space to take duels that are favorable and use the utility from the rest of his team.
Have the history behind him like Ye does at all the prior events, but Cryo's definitely been making a name for himself as well. North America top chamber talent coming out in full force. This is a contact play. Xset, the weaker gun's going to be playing really close up here to A lobby. Optic are ready for it though. You can feel them just holding outside of the smoke. Going to be showing it a bit of respect as well.
And so far, both Prowlers in most of these rounds have been used to re-clear A lobby, even when Optic aren't going in that direction. So this seems strange to me.
This angle that he's on right now, and just slightly missing the mark. That's a significant amount of damage. In return, wants to pick himself back up onto that angle as well. But mid-control has been gained now for Optic. And they can start to make some plays and make some waves. Barreling through into the site, taking control of the connector.
And Xset feel like they really can't hold on in these B pushes. I know the weaponry's weak at this point too. But Xset's in another position where they've lost control of one of the connectors. And these paranoias coming through from Marv, they're just so good at setting up fights in these situations.
He's been doing a great job to bail out his teammates.
This is one of those rounds where you just send Victor to kill everyone and just see if he can get another one of the ults online.
Yeah. Pretty good understanding of how they want to manage their economy, the ultimate economy that is. Victor 2 more points away now from the running back, and they've evened up this scoreline. We were talking about what is going to be that attack side plan for Optic, because on paper the comp does not look like it should have many strengths at all.
But that's all theory.
Exactly. And in practice...
And we've also never seen the scrims that they've played with this kind of map, this kind of comp. Optic will know far more than we do about how this comp works and how to get the best out of it, even if they've only practiced with it for a short period of time, just for this map. But they win the pistol, they win the bonus, and 2 anti-ecos. Now we get to the meat of the map. 8-8, rifle rounds ahead. And Xset putting so much attention towards A long to start with.
Just pushing them away, making sure they steal away the orb.
Yeah, kind of wild though, because FNS just went back to re-challenge it. Prowler's been used. Rotates good here from Xset. They're reading the hit.
Yeah, the B hit, or at least through Garage now, gives them control. They could pivot themselves into a C hit, but that smoke, the one-way setup now, that's freshly placed there by Aaron. So Optic, still cutting noise, still waiting it out, and they are so down close. Second! The patient play
One enemy remaining.
comes full circle. 3 kills in the round, what a way.
Shadows traveling.
And now still locks down that one sight line, had the backup of the rest of his team, but a prime game in Flawless is exactly what they needed. It's one of the strengths of Xset actually, Josh, over the course of this tournament, has been when they get all the weaponry online. We're in the quote-unquote full buy rounds. I mean, they've been performing best out of every team at this event against other people with guns.
And that's an astoundingly good area to excel in, because that's the majority of the game. And Optic crashes, you can see the reaction there. That puts this round on a very thin edge. So many ultimates to work with for both teams. Run it back, countered by a showstopper on the other side, and Nightfalls to play with. And Xset started out the prior by fighting heavily over A lobby, getting information early and rotating people to stop that garage hit. This time, a smoke down A long stops Xset from figuring out whether or not there's people here.
Yeah.
They've still got 3 in this area.
Face your fear!
Well, this is quick.
Yeah, this is going to be fast off a bit of Nightfall for a Nightfall. Run it back also going to be used. But Victor's dealt with pretty quickly. BCJ still wants to fight up close and personal. But the Optic players, again, barreling their way in. Brute force seems to be the name of the game. They've gained positioning onto the site. The fault line into the nade. Is that going to be enough to punish? No, Crashies just about steps his way into hell, back to safety. And now to play off the rest of his team. Yay holding a high ground angle, tour de force in his hand, and it's forcing Def back. Has to rethink this. Gotta be saving.
Crashies comes out with a trade. Lovely little exec from Optic. Showcasing that they really can make burst hits work, even with the Chamber Killjoy comp. Just a huge amount of utility being burnt there, the run it back and the Nightfall, but that is going to condition Xset to really respect the site execs. I think Optic will only be going for big things like that when they have those ults online, but part of the game plan is cycling the ults and making that work. Crash is already almost halfway to his next Nightfall.
Big ultimates online though for Xset.
And one of the big problems here is this smoke that Marv is throwing. This one right in front of Cryo, because it's denying them A lobby control. And Cryo would love to get in front of it.
Yeah, you can't be disrespecting it though.
But exactly, it's such a bold move.
They are always holding this with guns. The angles though, it's slightly off. Cryo not holding in the close bricks position. Victor was left unaware, but still the re-clear. They're just contacting in.
They just don't care at all. I mean, look at the read from Xset. Aaron and the rest of the team calling that, I mean, surely they're going to go somewhere else on the map after we pick them off. And Optic have just walked in.
Free site.
They've walked in and robbed the house.
Forcing Xset now to play that full retake. Don't get me wrong, Xset have got good ultimates for it, but it's about how you work together off the back of them. Here we go, mid-flank as well, that's coming through at the exact same time of all of this. That's FNS trying to catch the timing, rolling thunder, now to nade, and a flash! Crashes is a sitting duck! The showstopper through, Optic still dealing with this one, especially Yay! For the operator and a flick of the wrist! It's down to that 1v1, and it was the reflank by FNS. The positioning unknown for BCJ, but he's sticking it through, half on the mark, and just did not anticipate it. The IGL coming out with the goods.
What a round from FNS. From the call to just continue walking into A and utterly outplaying the defensive rotates to the lurk through mid, just a masterful round. And we have been treated to a battle here between the brains of North America. It feels like there's so much that's going into every round in terms of how they're reading into what the defense is going to do. And I'm not afraid to say I doubted this comp on the attack side, but FNS is making it work.
Yeah.
And Yay is also making it work. Great response from Cryo, though. Picks off Victor. And Cryo is definitely the danger man in this round. It's such a weak buy, but the Tour de Force could do everything.
Yeah. Honestly, right now, if you're Optic, the game plan might just be try to find Cryo and avoid him. Deep ult there by Aaron. That's to try and get a bit of information. Didn't spot anything, but Cryo has been dealt with. One of the big sticking points in this round. The guy that could have caused the most error. And then look at the space. Yay, not afraid to immediately post himself up on a deeper angle.
Bring them down.
He's so smart with how he plays. And that Prowler has dodged Zekken. If Zekken wanted to get aggressive here, he might be able to find a timing. Perhaps expects a trademark or an alarm bot, but there's nothing there.
Yeah, with that haunt, it should start to signal that this is going to be a bit of a C-split. In theory, always potential of them making their way onto B as well. Optic do have tremendous amounts of options, but Zekken back-to-back with Marv. Marv does not realize he's crossed yet, and it is all down to the timing. It's all down to the timing, and a gun is revealed. Zekken doesn't overplay his hand. Just wants to back away, and still the players of Optic are in position now for this C push that's coming down.
That's
to
the only
wire.
flash.
Only flash. Aftershock is just a little bit too late, but Dev wants to take the fight anyway. Unfavored there with the rifle in the hands of FNS, and now a lockdown just to really make the most of it. Pushing back the Xset players, making sure that they can try and play the fast retake.
That is an extremely good lockdown. Exactly as Xset was starting to get into position for the retake, it pushes them all away. And now positioning like Yay is just deadly.
Players are grouped up right now, lined up in fact to the back of the site. Yay is the only one into garage. Has to reposition, a slight whiff there of the aim. Safe hands from Yay as well, but Aaron right behind him and just a stinger in his hands. Does not expect there to be two players. In fact, you can see him pre-aiming down C long. Optic playing that one nicely.
What a comeback this has been. Only a single defensive round from Xset. And they are forced to take a timeout here.
Investment from Xset. They got to stop them here. Put a dent in this momentum. Optic have just been accruing over and over and over again. A fault line to the Season A, that's not going to be coming up with anything. Both of these teams have been so patient with a lot of their early plays, making sure that they don't fall for any of the common traps that we've seen over and over again now when you see these fade raise compositions.
And Optic play aggressively over on C just to get the ult orb onto Crashies. So Nightfall comes through, and Cryo's got to anticipate that somebody could be crossing into short right now, especially with that Haunt. So it pulls Dev and it pulls Second over towards A. And this is the way that FNS is playing with these guys, because there's nobody in short whatsoever.
Yeah.
And as these players rotate and are forced to re-clear that area of the map, FNS sends the rest of Optic through Garage to a weak area of the Haven defense.
Re-clear up through A. BCJ is holding his own Nightfall, but when is the timing to use it? A lot of bullets being found. A little bit of a jump peek there, which BCJ is going to be privy to. You can hear that, and it's a backing away from Optic.
Optic might have missed their mark there. They had a timing to go.
What is it going to be? Now the Nightfall comes across. A smoke to try and cut up one side at the side. Even the Haunt and the Phoenix wall. Crash is going to look for a bit of value here, but he's lurked his way up into a deeper position. But 30 seconds remaining, and it is really no concrete plan in action, but Ye has found the opening. Maybe that was what they were hunting for, but the spike is going in an opposite direction once more. Finding his way over towards C. Cryo at the back of things, and it is Crashy picking apart the defensive protocols. Down to just BCJ and Def, and with BCJ falling, just the IGL left standing for Xset. 1v4, a hard ask for him. At this point, the percentage play might just be to save the rifle. At least the operator that was gifted to his feet.
And that's tough. That's really got to stick in your throat there. Optic winning around with masterful macro rotations. I mean, just gorgeous gameplay from FNS and Ye, the way that they're working their way around the map, and then the way that Ye just opens up the B site but draws attention to himself as Optic go for the re-push through C. And just everything is working beautifully here for Optic.
No, it makes me worried as well. You watch the way Optic are playing these attack side rounds. FNS is holding onto the spike, so obviously he gets the final say of which area of the map they land on. But at times it looks like indecision. See Ye get these picks, but it's just the game plan. The slow control of the map that Optic are able to get. They push Crashies and Ye into those four positions, and they find targets. And this is it. On the cusp now for Optic, taking away this map when it was just looking like such a mountain to climb.
Still only a single defensive round from Xset. And we've got an Omen ult off the rip into backside.
Yeah, trying to find a bit of information possibly.
Cryo only just heard that.
Marv cancels it, but Dev is so far forwards here. And does this get cleared? The angle was just to the side, but an instantaneous trade from Victor.
Joke's over.
These trades are looking great, and they're instantly pivoting. Running back in, making space for Ye.
Get a bit of pace in the mix, why not? Straight through into the choke point, right into the connector as well.
And they're just using the Phoenix ult to set Ye up on the deepest lines possible.
Taking control of this one. It's a faster play though, and you can feel it now, the pressure starting to really apply for Victor. One after the other, Ye at the side, that is going to be the 13-9, and what a way to come back. Optic looking utterly supreme. The calling of FNS.
Impressed with how Optic played it on the attack.
Sure.
Up until recently, where they brought it out against Liquid. And then weirdly, their attack looked better than their defense. Maybe something they've been putting a lot of emphasis on before champs.
It definitely looks good with this composition. A fast clash. Immediately straight through B main, but respect is going to be shown as the players are backing away. But Ye happy. Again, filling the pieces. He's going to get traded out, though.
That's a very rare first death for Ye.
Yeah. Doesn't lose those often.
Only his 12th of the tournament.
Site. Yeah. That's our first step forward. Again, instantaneous trade. Consistent from what we know so far of these teams. There's no messing around. It's a fast play, a double jump straight down, but Crash is still in hell. And a bit shaky with the aim. He can't quite find the third. Cryo still left standing in that 1v1, and he does not know where the positioning is. FNS again. A critical rotation at just the right time.
Another beautiful round by FNS. Very reminiscent of the one that the desk broke down on Haven. It's a feint into B, instant pivot up through catwalk, and FNS turns into the lurker to backstab and ensure those plant goes in their way. Optic and Xset 4-4 against each other all time on Ascent. It's an even map, but I would argue that Optic have just looked like they have better ideas on it recently compared to what I've seen from them in the past. And we just haven't seen Xset play it.
I think Optic have gone through a decent evolution, honestly, as well on a lot of these maps. I had a big question wondering where was the next level of innovation going to come from for Optic, because they were the ones who really made their mark with the neon compositions. They popularized that, but that kind of got worked out. But Optic have been almost just taking the old compositions that other teams have made popular and been making it look even better.
Yeah, refining them. And this clash between the North American teams is almost secondary for Optic. Their eyes in the tournament are about being our first ever repeat winners. That's the level they're holding themselves to. Oh, little shock dart.
Yeah, that's going to cancel out that dart. At least the drone, I should say. Dart over the top, though. Crashies should be supporting the rest of them, but how has Zekken avoided all that? Picked up a gun in the process. A quick little upgrade, but unable to win out the fight. Optic's still going to be clean with this one. Spike has to be reclaimed, but safe site and a safe plant.
And the rest of these Xset guys are quite far away from the play. Only a shorty in the hand of BCJ that just didn't go into the spot that he was holding. And at this point, maybe you just play for Xset, something like that. Xset going to go for a bit of a B main retake, but yeah, he was quite weak.
Yeah, off onto the corner of the Marshall. He was weak in the end of it. Playing inside the smoke, though, making sure to clean up the players, lest it get too dangerous. But that's going to be that second round on board for Optic. Did lose a lot of guns as they move now into their bonus round. Might have to reinvest to make that decision.
Yeah, it's not a bad round, honestly, from Xset. Taking a couple of guns out of the hands of Optic means that this is no longer a bonus. Oh, well, we'll see. They're playing with the economy a little bit here, but it just means that Crashies is going to be poor next round, so they might still reinvest round 4 if Optic lose this. It's going to put things in weird territory, though. If Xset are able to convert their defensive side, they just could not find out why Optic were pushing and pulling them on Haven. This has got to be an improvement, got to be a bounce back for Xset.
Gotta have better reads, I think, of what's going on.
And for Xset to take that next step and be able to consistently beat the best teams in the world, of which Optic are definitely one of them, you've got to be able to take your punches and come back into games.
Yeah, that's the next milestone that Xset are reaching for. Just a little play into mid there. Cryo tries to take the angle down with the operator. There's a fight taking place, though. How has Aaron got away with that? Three, one after the other. And there were trade attempts there by the Optic players, but just getting beamed down in the process.
What a round by Aaron.
One enemy remaining.
And Zekken's going to clean up. Victor goes for a little contact push back in. That's the spike.
Yeah,
that's the round. Marv doesn't even have a proper rifle to say.
No, it was looking, honestly, a bit dire for Xset, losing Cryo that early on. He had the operator investment as well, but that has been reclaimed by Def. You can see him picking him up there, and he's still locked down the angle.
That's a hero round from Aaron to get them on the board. A reminder that he is IGLing their defensive rounds as well. And so for him to be able to also pull out plays like that, that's certainly going to get them back fired up.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on this guy's shoulders.
And we said that the bye would be scrappy and weird for Optic in round 4. So at the end, you've got 8 headhunter bullets, 1 rifle, there's a glass cannon from Marv, and some other little bits of odds and ends.
They have been dangerous, though. And the going gets rough here for Optic with the investments. Flash over the top, pushes away a bit of Tyler's aggression early on, but a knife that has to be respected. Bro can't really lock down that angle.
Shock Dart didn't break the alarm bot.
It's just that ADS. Dev's just hunting for a head or two. Utility, you can see them being lit up, but they've taken control straight for a cut, and already no time wasted. Crashies, quick to explode up into heaven, now the drone to supplement it. Has to be that fragment need to push them back, Marv! He's just caught through the wall. Ends up going down there.
That's the power of the new fragment grenade.
Yeah. But they do have space onto the site, so Optic have cleared a path for the spike to hopefully gain a bit of a place, get a plant down on A, get some money being built as well.
And the Vandal,
why not?
the Vandal that Marv brought into the round is now in Crashy's hands. Ye becomes the lurker. Feels like Optic are very flexible in terms of who does this role for the team.
Yeah.
We've seen FNS, we've seen Ye,
this map a
Crashies.
lot actually is Ye playing up in mid, trying to capitalize off space that was
seconds
created
left.
elsewhere, but until 28 seconds left, and now the spike starting to get planted.
Wow, the lockdown being committed as well for the retake.
And Ye's been spotted. That's a hard read. They know that Ye likes to play in mid in that kind of fashion, and Victor has to make a play here. It's a beautiful set of utility, but the gun's still in the hands of them. The fragment nade on top of it. Victor is doing so much work, but not enough, not enough. And it's pure BM as the last player standing. Sitting duck, an easy target.
Oh, we've seen a couple too many knife kills, I think, in this tournament.
One too many.
But that's a great try. Great try in the half-buy round from Optic. Those entries up by Cat are going to be a serious area that Xset have to be aware of.
Love to see a replay as well as to how that lockdown didn't get broken, because I thought the fragment nade would have been enough.
I think the fragment grenade, the lockdown was in quite a different position.
But I don't know if I missaw it, but I think somebody might have just kicked it out of the way. And that's why
Possible.
Victor got detained. I mean,
Possible.
absurd. But Xset do clean it up.
Big ults available for both
Huge
sides
ults.
here. Both teams with an ult command too, and this is going to be so fast.
Flash over the top.
And Def is instantly going to respond.
Oh, Screws gets suppressed.
Yep.
Instantly cancelled. He's going to be using Def's own ultimate to try and make the most. And now, control still of mid. Second, not shying away from the fight. Full confidence to take that one again. And with Ye falling, it's an unconventional first step for him.
We might see this smokes battle happen so frequently up on Catwalk, as it looks like BCJ and Marv have been assigned this area of the map. This time BCJ coming out on top, and Victor setting up for this flank down mid. The little lurk play with a flash.
Pop flash play, no one playing anti, yet still. Cryo was facing in an opposite direction, so it just didn't affect him that much. Look at the wrist, and he deals with that pesky lurk player, but Optic, again, with the contact plays, doubling up, swing into Cryo.
Spike down.
No one had to destroy the horns, legged him in the process, and enough damage for Aaron to clean up.
Prime gaming flawless from Xset there, and that was off the back of an attempt at a fast round by Optic. A lot of ultimates being expended on both sides. And as you pointed out, Bren, Crashy's finding no value because the response was immediate from Dev's null command. It wasn't in reaction to the Hunter's Fury, it was in reaction to the pressure coming off the back of the Nightfall from FNS. But Crashy's must have just thought he was out of range.
It was quite far back. Huge plays by them.
Loving that one. Optic take a time. This role shift turns them into more of a proactive, aggressive defense, and you're about to see it right here from BCJ and Def.
See it immediately. Holding that fragment nade, but util has to be cleared out. And a pull of their feet means there has to be some respect being shown, but Victor not wasting any time. Pop flash play through the horn, lights him up. Def was completely revealed, completely blind, but the crossfires are finally online. Better weaponry, a bit of a reload. Cryo though, safe hands. They're skipping a hop away to try and escape all of that brute force aggression that's coming through, and what a shot. Dealt with easily enough.
The fast hit's not quite finding their mark there. But Optic had weak weaponry. Not too much to write home about other than Cryo picking off some easy op shots and really helping out the sight angle. That one onto Victor, pretty nice towards the end. And if Cryo heats up, this could be another awesome battle.
Oh, is this a fast play? The knives in the hands of Cryo. Are they going to try and go for a tiles crunch here?
They're tiles crunching what, with a shorty?
I don't know. He's got the knives, the Blade Storm, but no, not choosing to operate on it. In fact, Marv has complete control.
That is such
Catwalk's so weird.
Such a strange set play by Xset. Flashing in, but nobody able to hold top ramp because of the smoke from Marv. And then Marv just destroys the Oppa.
Yeah, something was missing there in that play. But it wasn't quite revealed, but all this utility and that triple initiator comp, look at it. The pressure that BCJ's under, has to back away.
And it's again this controller battle over a tree.
Not a no command. Optic are biding their time, finally now starting to wade their way into this side, but they have to deal with Zekken! And he's back and forth. Left, right, around Generator. And the kills are just flooding in for him. And once more, Xset so clean, so consistent with the trades.
Beautiful work by Xset to hold that one back. Marv is actually getting value over BCJ. He's being able to crack open the tree, but it instantly causes a flood of rotates into the A site. And that is what Optic can't deal with. Their trading and their spacing on the site hits is just not good enough to hold off the site anchors.
Nice! Oh, one tap to baby.
The energy is high.
And this is what you need to see from Xset. We've definitely showcased in this tournament, or they've definitely showcased, sorry, that they can win. But can they win consistently? Can they bounce back in series? Is their mental strong enough to avoid crumbling? These are all questions that could be answered in this map. And they've just done such a great job in the early rounds here of dismissing everything that Optic throw at them.
This matchup here between them and Optic is that next great milestone. The thing they've got to overcome here. Top finish. Good heads up by Xset. They were watching the notable angles, but Crashies ends up trading it. Does have that operated. It could still get scary in a 2v3. Remember that. BCJ ends up using his ultimate for a bit of information there. Cancelled it. They know where these two players are. With 45 seconds left, there is time to make a move, to make a play, especially Ye. He's got the rifle. And timing is everything. The peak angle is everything, and Ye wins it out. But still, the spike is dropped. Bit of a backstab play there through market. Smoke propped up, and they know where Ye is. Paranoia scatters across, and it's a cleanup for BCJ.
Xset go up 6-2, and Optic have another shot with rifles in hand. This so far, though, has just been dominant. And what a turnaround compared to map 1, where both teams were dominating their attack half. Now Xset just looks impenetrable on the defense. All of the stuff that FNS was doing on Haven in terms of manipulating defenders, getting lurks into angles, working mid, it all kind of seems absent here.
Ever so slightly missing. The Optic players looking raring to go almost. Huge amounts of use. You can see the pull of the horn being used. At the same time, there was a play straight down mid. Using to be peeled back there with the Odin.
The Leviathan set play there. And a suppression onto Arin. Knocks down some of this killjoy utility.
It's the time when you should be going in now, but a Hunter's Fury, it offsets all of that aggression. How Optic going to be getting back into this one? They still want to make the play. I mean, Def, he can't see a bloody thing. Arin with the crossfire. The setup, it's just too damn clean.
And that is beautiful. There's a little bit of luck involved there, Brent, I'm not going to lie.
Sure.
With Def full blinded spraying, but the decision making as well from Xset to absorb the early utility, respond with a Hunter's Fury to keep Optic stuck in the choke point, and then fight forwards leads to a prime game in Flawless. Look at this, they are not even letting them through the door.
So much confidence.
And that's also one of the weaknesses of Optic's attack side. Without a jet, without, as Mimu would say, a dive player on the team.
Someone to cut past those choke points, open it up.
But it's all about how you as the defending team adapt to it. You've got to fight forwards at the right times. And Xset are putting on a masterclass right now in terms of picking their timings of when to drop back and when to fight forwards.
3 more rounds and a half. Optic not set up for success when you look at what they're working with. Stingers, a Bulldog on Marv. Ye, of course, has the headhunter bullets. Anything could happen. It's difficult. Just a bit of a poke and prod into mid. Make sure you get rid of that alarm bot, but they are setting themselves up here. A bit of a flash play with the drone. Does it spot Def? Did it timing him? He's still holding the angle. I think he doesn't want to get the util out. Eventually cancelling out the drone and backing away. FNS does fall somewhere, but it's a pivot now. Straight into mid by the Optic players. And how has Ye gotten away with that one?
Just walked into A main.
Has created a lot of space for them. Closed the door on himself.
I think he was trying to duck back underneath it and didn't grab the timing.
Awkward, man. So awkward.
Don't think I've ever seen Ye use an Odin, honestly.
Listen, use what you get given. And the players are now working their way up into heaven here for the Optic. Bit of a flash play. Cryo has to respect it and back away.
Look how isolated Def is here.
So all over the place. Did they realize that Victor's still there? The answer? Not quite. With the right click. And Victor running them down, but still only 10 seconds. It's just up to Zekken.
He
He
has
could
shock
deny the
darts.
plant, but he doesn't choose to. Holding, he hears the footsteps. Does he know where the plant is? Close to him. He suspects it. And one shot to the cranium. That'll finalize it. A difficult round. Xset really getting pushed to their limits there.
But that is just filthy good by Zekken. His Sova on this map has looked sublime. And his usage of Phantom as well. Really using the movement advantages that the Phantom can give you and getting off these lovely headshots.
So elegant with the way he chooses to take these fights. Back and forth, a quick tap, a burst of the bullets.
And Optic.
These are the rounds that matter now for Optic. Going to be looking to see if they can get at least 2 on the board to make it at 8-4 half.
Alarm bot put down in mid here as Cryo takes his operator onto a line. There's ops on both sides, and Cryo's going to dodge that recon instead of having a teammate break it for him.
Up close and personal there for Cryo. Dashing back, the bullet's just about missing him.
Serious danger.
Yeah, has to burn the updraft just to get out safely, but the Odin's going to be tossed to Second's feet. He'll be picking up a rifle.
This is one of the things, actually, that Optic have been doing really well, is taking mid control and stopping Cryo from getting access to that area of the map. But any of their pivots through mid to a site are just getting destroyed. A drone over towards A. Now, this is going to cement these 3 players in place.
Should at least, but is it enough to try and keep them guessing? Lockdown's going to be used with the Prowler. Surely Aaron lets this one rip now. They are so close towards him. The dart did light them all up, and somehow Zekken did get away with a kill in the middle of all of this. But if you can't break the lockdown, you have to respect it. And Optic, but they're just backing out of it.
Only just escaping as well. Null command being used, in fact, by Def.
Yeah, I think Def suspects as well that this hit might be coming through into a different direction, but he's pretty far back into spawn. Doesn't mean Victor ends up using his, but the angle Cryo just missing this one. And it is a split attempt. Through Cat, through Tree, straight through main, and Cryo still is being under so much pressure. Yay deals with him well enough, but Heaven is still locked down and the spray down. Xset finds their targets, and they shut down the approach of Optic.
Last round before the switch.
These side hits are not working by Optic. Their players are scattered. They're not tight enough to each other to trade. It looks like a scramble as they hit the A site. Ye's about the only player that gets onto a line. The rest of them grouped up, unable to play off each other. And Aaron on the defense side, IGLing and fragging.
Yeah, this guy is having an absolute world-class game.
Look how happy he is there. 14-5, up at the top of the scoreboard right now.
You want to play?
And
Let's
can
play.
Optic get one more round? We've seen major comebacks, it could make all the difference.
Jumping to try and bait a shot out of Cryo. One more round could be the difference maker. That is a great way to open things up. And there is pace behind this one. Optic not wasting any time, including that Hunter's Fury. That's going to be scattered across onto the site.
But here come all the rotates, and this is the problem. As soon as Optic goes through Cat, everyone from Xset responding to it. But this time it's opened up space for Ye.
And Ye has found the gap, and with the Tour de Force in his hands, a quick scope, that will do the job. Space game for his team. Knows that nobody else is going to be left standing onto the site. The Cosmic Divide in their way. It's a very tricky ask for Xset to try and find their footing.
And finally, FNS has managed to find a hole in the defense. But in the final round of the half,
It's looking like they could sail away that third round and a half for them, but Xset still with players alive. Utility starting to come back online as well. BCA going to be using his smoke now. Trying to push back this angle. Ye with a Tour de Force though, and now the slow field at their feet. One more avenue that just cannot be explored. Market being spammed up. Ye sets himself up, one after the other, and they do get that 9-3.
a third round, but is it too little? Is it too late?
Maybe they can get it done there.
The comeback on Haven started with Ye getting 4 kills in that round 13. You just saw the stat about Zekken leading in terms of the first bloods. Ye didn't get a single one in the first half of Ascent. That is so unusual for El Diablo, the demon of first kills.
Yeah. He's been a menace over the course of this tournament.
But now he's on the defense side.
Now all the way through, Xset going to be cutting it across. Quick dash to the side, has to be dealt with, and there's an instantaneous trade. Victor will fall. But Dad is doing a decent amount to gather that information. It does grant Crashies an additional kill.
I'm sure they must have thought Crashies was cleared by that fragment grenade.
What?
And he just drops down again.
Drops down into hell, and all the kills piling one after the other. Beautiful stuff by Crashies. Even with Xset trying to bait the swings. You saw there was a tap of the spike, trying to make sure that that retake was shut down, but beautiful opening by Crashies.
That is 4 out of 4 pistol rounds going the way of Optic. It's been a major factor in terms of how they were able to turn map 1 around. And it's going to make this map somewhat feasible, even after a 9-3 lead.
I mean, listen, it's not out of the question. Not after what we just witnessed. In the past, Optic on this map, they have been good on their defense side. It often looks like their better side on Ascent when they play this triple initiator composition.
Ye taking an early peek out catwalk there and uses his rendezvous to get all the way back into mid for another peek into mid. Using that mobility on Chamber pretty wonderfully. And Optic did struggle a little bit with their defense side against Liquid on Ascent.
Yeah.
But in general, they are such a good defense side team on this map. So the question is, can they tap into that history? Can they tap into those incredible defensive protocols that they've showcased previously?
That's what I mean. In other matches, you do see them. They use their utility very well, the layers of it. Making sure that it's very difficult for any sort of attackers to get presence in the choke points, shut them down, cut them up.
And while we're talking about the questions for Xset of whether or not they're going to be able to, brush off the loss in a comeback of map 1, whether they've got that championship mentality, you just know it's there from Optic. Prime Gaming Flawless as they head into round 15 now, but Optic are one of the greats in this game. They've showcased it time and again, starting a year ago. And if they're able to pull off a comeback and win this map, they will have guaranteed themselves top 3 at every event in 2022.
One of the most consistent teams that we have on the international stage. They've got the experience, they've got buckets of it. And they know that they're good for it, Josh.
They've said before that spots like this simply don't phase them because of all of that experience, because of the confidence. And here we go, Ye taking a little look out into B main as Def controls Gelato. He's got his rendezvous to play around here, but the patience and the discipline showed by Aaron just to not even give a sliver of himself over.
Drone, I don't think spotted Cryo there. Managed to slip underneath the smoke. But it was a gamble early on with a shock dart to try and break the trademark. There it is, on the side of Market, so eventually they find it.
And it looks like this attack side from Xset with Def calling is going to be another very slow affair.
And Ye with a Marshall. The guy's a menace with it. That long sightline angle, there has to be respect being shown. You can see Xset immediately backing away from it. They want nothing to do with that section of the map.
It softens Cryo up. And if Cryo decides to try and engage, I mean, he's already lost the dash actually, but if he was to try an entry, could easily be pulled to pieces by the Spectre.
And his angle is everything. Ye has been so fluid, the way that he's trying to play, weaving his way, making sure that he stays in range of his rendezvous there, obviously staying alive. And now the drone.
It just feels like he's on every angle.
Yeah.
They've just pushed him away from B main, and now the drone's going to have to be used to push him out of stairs.
The repush by Optic out into mid. They are squeezing Xset right now. Positioning is known. All the players are grouped up into B main. BCJ, he's going to be half the one to put up the big numbers. He's eventually going to go down traded, and now 13 seconds is left, and all of that damage prior. Well, they've got to make their way onto the side. They've got to make their mark. Spike has to be planted here, and it's an opening for them. Pushing them sides into the lane. The weaponry in their hands down to the 1v1. Crashies versus Def, and a quick spray down means Crashies reigns supreme.
What a clutch by Crashies. He is so good in these situations. 1v1s, 1v2s, that's the domain of Optic's initiator player. And just the way that Ye was just constantly,
He was everywhere.
invading.
He's everywhere.
Yeah, he was on every
Watching
angle.
Market, be main, watching main again.
And it just set up all of the rest of Optic to play to their strengths. Marv gets to trade, that's what he loves to do. Crashies gets to clutch, that's what he loves to do. An Optic win a bonus to push things forwards and make the comeback absolutely doable now.
Familiar sights. Massively, massively important round for Optic to win. You can hear the crowd is firmly behind them. Xset have got to find some magic, I think, to try and pull their way through this one. But with Ye in top form like this,
oops,
defensive play on the chamber. Yeah, it's a bit of a whiff there with a fragment nade. Angle has to be watched here for Victor because there is a fast bit of pace injected in one after the other, but still Aaron, quick swap of the weaponry around, but Ye once more watching that high ground angle.
And both of these teams demonstrating that they know exactly what to do against a full tree push. The A splits are incredibly powerful on this map, but both teams so far only really demonstrate, 4-1 pushes where there's just a single player in A main. Not enough to command a serious threat. But now rifle round comes up. Xset have been good in these.
Yeah, when they get the weaponry, the full buys. One of the highest performers in the tournament, actually, when it comes to winning rounds out.
Null command on both sides, and that is why Marv is in spawn. He is determined not to get hit by this from death, so that he can still use the pulls on both sides of the map.
Deploying drone.
He's quite worried about it. Drone over the top now for Zekken, wants to try and re-clear through into mid. Doesn't get too much information though, I believe that was broken down by Marv.
And that drone from Crashies also doesn't spot BCJ, but it does allow Crashies to jiggle peek, and now he spots the Omen. Are they ready to hold off?
Knife is so good.
Another split.
That is so good by Victor. There was an attempt of an A split. Well, look where the spike's landing. It looks like potentially a bit of a fake play by Xset, but the re-clear remain. Optic, they have control of it. Crashies is taking liberties with the jump peek as well. Have to respect the knife though.
You watch
Xset is scrambling a little bit now.
Yeah, you watch Xset's movement on the minimap, and I can't figure out what the game plan was in this round. Aaron with the spike all the way over on B, now reconnected with the rest of the team, but it feels like Optic have just had all of the information on this side of the map.
Yeah.
You watch Crashies and he's never worried.
Cut noise re-hit, dash now into that cloud burst, moving forwards. There's Victor watching that angle with Crashies as well. Odin in his hands, great wallbang angle. Couple of shock darts, try and soften up the opposition. Marv's got a lovely line. The angle is being found, but Zekken wants to fight it anyway. Brute force has to be the name of the game, but the spike is dropped down anyway. There will be no reclaiming of it. And a swing through from Optic. All the players, with the exception of Marv, surviving, carrying forward the guns.
Is it happening again?
It feels like it, Josh. It certainly feels like it. 5 rounds in a row now.
I love the way that Optic are playing this defense side on it. The aggression coming out from Victor and Crashies to gather proactive information is just wonderful. And this is going to put the squeeze on Xset. Again, I mean, Xset did a great job in the first half bouncing back from Haven, but this is testing him even further.
How do you deal with this one? Def's managed to find his way into B main without taking too much damage, but remember, it is a bit of a half buy, weaker weaponry kind of round. Not enough to buy for Xset to fully invest into this one. And they have managed to find themselves a bit of space onto lane. Moving forwards. Crashies though, back and forth. Just evading them for the time. Making sure that he buys enough time for the rest of his team to rotate in. So they are willing to give them the sight and the plant.
What a
Not
great...
on the top though, you've got to be careful of this one.
Just giving away his positioning, but you can't counter-spam. They just don't have good enough weapons.
No, the Stinger's not enough to try and get through it. And it has to be a re-clear. Xset want to try and play fast and loose in this one, fighting for control of stairs, but a nade over the top. Damage is being done, and Aaron, he's been dealt with, cleaned up easily. Nice retake by Optic, and that is going to put them even in this series, Josh. It was 9-3.
Xset were only able to win a single round in the second half of Haven. Thus far, they haven't even a familiar opponent across the stage.
And there might be a bit of action occurring now in mid. Exchange that utility. Flash over the top. You can feel the Xset players there. They were patient, playing anti-flash.
I really like this set play that people have taken from Leviathan. Tiles pressure, trying to break it, using the Odin from Catwalk. Just trying to throw a wrench into the spokes early.
Yes.
and knock Xset off their plan coming out of the timeout.
Cause a couple of issues, because right now there hasn't been much play towards map control for Xset on this attack side round. And this is the important one. This is the one that they have to win. Money's running low. This is a full investment into the round. You've got 5 ultimates. If there was any round to get you back into it, it would have to be this one.
And Optic always control A main. Xset are playing so passively for extremity control right now. And it's just giving Optic so much info.
Jay uses paranoia so early there. Victor's just going to be flashing to re-clear it. I mean,
they are ultra confident. Victor and Marv are going to control that spot, and it's so good, even if it is an A split, to hold on to A.
And Xset, all these attempts to try and fake that it might be an A split or anything else are just being boomed. The knife gets information, it only tags onto the one player. So Optic, they know that this hit's coming through now. No command has to come through, and yay, just a slight tag. Bleed damage being done, a quick scope, but eventually a trade. Still knocking Death to his feet. Time is running short though. 10 seconds in a round, there has to be that plant.
And here's where the ultimates are really working for Xset. Utilizing the lockdown and the null command left Optic in a sad spot.
Hunter's Fury is going to be used proactively here. There is a timing, and a target is eventually found. A critical one at that. Victor, he had the knife. Just a couple of seconds to try and cancel that one, but now just 2v4. That is what Optic are having to play towards here. Doesn't look really doable with the manpower that they've got.
But any exits here are going to be devastating for Xset. The economy difference could not be larger.
And no one's clearing the one side of it. BCJ's managed to get his way past. TP across. But the players are just being absolutely choked up, bogged down. Might be able to get away with a rifle here. He does indeed. So just 2 weapons being saved for the next one. But at least they do get that round online. Xset was struggling to gain that first attack round.
And they've just saved enough rifles there so that they have a buy that looks competent heading into round 20. And it is a major breakthrough, Brent, you're absolutely right, but it was the ultimates to me that made the difference. They're not going to have a null command next time. They're not going to have a lockdown to put that level of pressure on the B-side anchors. However, from Dev's POV, he's actually dealing with the A main control well. Let's see what's happening here, though, as Ye walks into mid. And Xset, for the first time that I can remember, actually walking into Gelato and trying to contest that area early.
It's given Ye complete control of mid.
And that's unusual. Normally Xset are all over this area.
Yeah.
At least within the next 20 seconds they are.
They do have the defensive setup. Ye's on this one sightline angle. Marv's got his back as well. He's ready to watch at the bottom of mid just in case there is a peak timing. And Xset again biding their time on these attack side rounds. They want to cut the clock like this, but it becomes problematic. A slight whiff, Ye.
Surprised he missed that one.
Yeah, doesn't actually respect them enough to back away. Finally, though, he's going to use his rendezvous.
There was a 0 point there, and I'm not sure whether it caught second.
Playing slow like this, Josh. Just don't think it quite makes sense against a triple initiator comp. They have so many tools to slow you down, and when Ye's got the operator as well, it's just one more obstacle in their path.
Ye already getting onto the B main sight line. Not worried about people being posted up there because of how slow Xset are playing.
What is the game plan? BCJ has the ult. He could pivot with the spike in his hands. He could go anywhere, but
they just look so scattered.
Yeah, Xset are all over the place right now. Slight miss there from Ye. One more bullet in the chamber. Slowfield is going to be slowing them all the way down to a crawl. Down over the top, lights them all up as well, but a fragment nade stops anyone from pushing through. But they have to deal with crashes. This guy's still in the corner. A beautiful flash. Not enough time. There has to be a spike plant, and I just don't think Aaron's got it. The only way he wins this is by forcing a fight, and he just can't do it.
Ye donates an operator to the cause there in an attempt to get Aaron's gun out of his hands. But it's Optic responding to get up to 10-10. And Ye just continues to be a threat. It's not necessarily that Ye's taking over the game right now. I mean, he is up at the top of the scoreboard, but it's more so that Xset are having to worry about him. Yeah. Every corner they turn around, Ye could be there with an operator. So they're having to play slowly, use so much utility, jiggle peek every corner, and it's just slowing them down like they're walking through a bog.
And it becomes so obvious of where they're trying to lean towards, and a lot of these hits, we've seen it time and time again. The dart, A knife, anything to slow it all down.
And again, they're using so much utility. Paranoia off the rip, and a turret, and trying to wallbang spam, and yeah, he's still there. However, Xset have shown a couple of different looks. While they were playing pretty heavily over mid control early on in this half, now they're playing heavy over extremities. They've got Zekken up towards A, B main control, at least in theory.
Trouble is,
and now at the minute mark, go back into mid.
Yeah. Zekken did have A main control, but it was a deeper smoke, and I don't think he cleared wine. So he's worried about that. Marv has been playing in there every now and then. So slow. 45 seconds in the round.
Only a single player caught in that 0 point.
Yeah, that's going to be throwing some false information into the mix, because it looks like Xset are grouping up now for the A push.
And the turret gets withdrawn.
Yeah, and here comes the play. Flash, no, that's dodged by Victor. What a spray down. The guy just can't be stopped. In fact, he wants to take the fight to him. One after another, 3 kills under his belt. Cryo has got to try and pick up the pieces of this round, but with only 15 seconds remaining, the spike is in such an unfavorable position. No one's able to retrieve it.
10 seconds left.
And Xset just have to hold on to these guns for the sake of their economy. They've been put in that position multiple times. And that is going to be a blow.
That is brutal.
Losing Zekken's rifle means that Xset are going to be stuck here. At least in the previous time where they had a situation like this, Cryo had knives. Now he's nowhere near.
It's so suffocating playing against Optic. With this triple initiator comp on the defense side, they have so many waves of utility. Look at this, the Nightfall, sound cues cut up, pop flash plays, Victor's anchoring it down, he's got teammates to help him out.
And just thinking about what Ye is doing, right? On the first half, I said he had 0 first kills. We will have a guaranteed repeat grand finalist. And an opportunity for someone to make some serious history.
The Haunton, maybe the Dart as well, going to be accompanying that.
Take flight.
It's been marked up, but it looks like one of the first attempts of Xset to try and take away some of that control of A main. And you have to cancel the drone there. The knife was going to do it for you.
Xset haven't really gone for a burst play at any point in this half.
Smoke dropped up, Paranoia. As a seize, it connects onto him.
Perfect timing.
Yep, Cryo is in such a dangerous situation. Slamming like they could be in here. Victor just trying to play up close and personal. Cryo, it's a lovely angle to take, and he has dealt with Marv easily enough. There's an attempt. A play was being made there by FNS, but he's also shut down. And finally, Xset are able to gain some ground.
And this play on a force buy round with weak weaponry seems to have worked beautifully for Xset. And EA wants none of it. I mean, he is just saving.
Yep, just backing away. You think about when Optic were last playing a set in a Team Liquid game, the thing that they were struggling with when they were on their defense side was essentially Scream disrespecting them. Running in, confidence, taking fights. It sounds counterproductive, I think, when you're going up against a triple initiator comp, because you saw how much Cryo got stopped down. There was a siege at his feet.
Yeah, you have to dodge Seize, you have to dodge the Haunt. The Haunt's going to be comboed with a flash and a recon.
Yeah.
It becomes extremely difficult to burst into these sites. But one of the big advantages that it has for Xset is that they've been the best team for trading each other in the tournament. The only team that trades more than 20% of their deaths.
Yeah. It's a really clean round. You can see that the way Xset was setting themselves up there on the right lines. Nice post-plan protocols.
Do they go and try that another couple of times? Maybe a B burst, something like this? This is the serious question. Mind games and how deep your strat book goes become really important once you get to round 20, 23, 24, even OT if we get there.
It's going to be barely hanging on. But 11-11. There's the scoreline. Deep smoke straight down mid. There is still that trademark that you have to worry about. The Prowler. Oh, BCJ's down in the open! How does he get away with one?
Never should have been able to get away with that. And now Xset grouping up towards B. They have a lockdown that they could use here, and Crashies has ult to try and deny it.
Yeah.
But that takes Crashies out of the picture for a little while and stops his recon dart or his drone being a problem.
This drone, what is the play to try and destroy this
Crashies
Killjoy
droning?
lockdown? Crashies, why are you droning there? Knife into the back, holding the angle, he just expects it, but there is discipline.
He's just suppressed.
Yeah, Xset were just so well drilled, they didn't burst their way into the side, they didn't flood in like he was expecting, and Crashes, he's got no choice but to try and slowly evade them. And another save for Ye. No money to try and make a hero play.
And it was the burst B that Xset ended up going for without even smokes to work with.
No.
BCJ dead off the rip, and Xset still make a B burst play work with a lockdown that had a counter on the other side. I mean, that is Xset pulling a magical round out and also leaning into what's currently been working for them after the timeout.
The big bursty plays.
Burst executes.
Yeah.
They've gone A, and then they ran a bit of a default into a B exec. Can they keep this going, or will Optic find the counter in time?
Well, Optic have one more opportunity to do so. It's going to put Xset on that map point. Necessary for them if they wanted to bring us to that third and final map of Pearl. Everybody wants to see it.
One enemy remaining.
Apart from Optic.
Yeah, they'd love to just clean this one up. PCJ reapplying the shades, okay.
He's a cool customer. Crashy still has this ult to work with though, and they're going for a double operator setup. This is frequently what Optic are going to go for if they have money for it at the end of a half.
Yeah.
So Marved holding at the back of B, while Ye might consider looking for a peek into a main, or perhaps just going to play an anchor position around there. If they let massive leads slip away from them on both of these maps, it's just going to be people talking about it like it's Copenhagen all over again. And Crashy's rip off the rip!
Just making the plays. Cryo still returns of one though. Ye was capitalizing off the chaos. He tried to put himself up onto that line, and he was shut down in the process.
And that's the main reason that Crashies goes for the ult, is to set Ye up on that. Cryo's still with the punish.
Oh, dodge, they're retrieving the operator.
They still want to go for a double op setup, or rather Marv does now pick back up the Vandal.
This is really intriguing.
But I think they still have one over a B.
I'm curious what the play is here, because Cryo's sitting with that spike online. I see BCJ with the ult. Are they going to be trying to get the spike dropped onto him, try and pivot into a B hit? It's all really crumbling, because Crashies, I mean, the guy's just sitting nice and pretty in wine. Smoke to try and get him out. Of course, the backup is there, playing inside the smoke. Sidestep, side dodge, Cryo is making the most of it, and yeah, he's a one-man army! Tips his way across, an attempt is being played. Cryo, he's got the spike, and BCJ wants to regroup with him. He's going to teleport back to his teammate.
It's an impossible choice for FNS, but he picks correctly, goes into A, which is where the spike has been planted here.
Sees connects, he sees it as a double swing, but it's the win nevertheless. Clean trades is what carries it through for Xset, and we will see map number 3.
Pure relief painted onto the face of the Xset guys as they bend off. They've taken that global experience and instantly turned it into something special.
Now we get to see the clash of styles on Pearl. Map number 3. Here on the opening pistol round, that double control, the double smokes composition that Optic are running versus the neon comp of Xset.
And remember, Optic have won every single pistol in the series so far, 4 out of 4. And the score is still 1-1.
Yeah, it's been the thing that's gotten them back into the positions to be able to make those comebacks happen on the second half. Bit of information gathered, and a right click, well, gifted of a slight kill. An attempt there by Optic, they're just trying to take the space, capitalize maybe off of it, but okay.
And the chamber battle over on B long, it goes the way of Cryo.
What? Right through his kneecaps. 2 players going down there, and Cryo has just made a mockery of this approach onto B.
What a beautiful round. And now left to FNS to see what a nuisance he can be. Sneaking towards the back.
Spotted out.
Spotted out. Cleaned up.
And
Xset take their first pistol in the series.
Exactly, Josh. The first pistol round in this series goes the way of Xset. With how close this has all been. Back and forth. I mean, expectations really out the window, I think.
But it is Optic that have the experience at this point. You can see the stat there. They're used to having close games and close matches, but they're great in these decider maps, and part of the reason is because they have a deep map pool. So no matter where their opponent brings them, they're still in comfortable territory. I think you could say the same here. Both teams have looked really good on Pearl, but with vastly different approaches. Optic, if anything, going for the EMEA approach with the zero duelist comp, and Xset have their own unique blend on how to approach this map.
Very different takes, I think, on how they want to be running this one. Cryo obviously taking contact here, pushed up aggressively. He's moving up past his own rendezvous, but it's a weaker buy, obviously, for Optic. So they're going to be taking liberties, obviously trying to find out, I think, the defensive setup a lot of the time here now.
And Optic didn't really get too much time to demonstrate their attack rounds against Loud.
Okay. Right, Josh, really not a lot to really showcase at all. The right clicks are putting in some serious work so far. The 2 rounds that we've witnessed. And guns are being retrieved. That's Crashies picking up a bit of an upgrade.
And this is what Optic were doing on their attack round against Loud, getting into such dangerous lurk positions. Here comes FNS back through flowers.
Yeah, is this going to be watched for? The answer is yes, yet somehow Aaron ends up losing out the fight.
Deadly.
Just immense value out of the classics.
Deadly crosshair placement from FNS.
The deal with FNS now. Crashies will get the plant down. Extra money in the back pocket of his team. In fact, this round is looking potentially winnable. The knife does spot him, and this is a really risky play from Crashies.
Oh, but he's found the timing.
Oh, Cryo watches for it.
Wow.
Really patient play, and honestly, heads up.
But what a close eco round there for Optic to almost take it away. And let's break down how it happened. They go through mid very heavily, and once they take control of Art, they split into that connector. And that, to me, was the most interesting thing, watching Optic approach this map. With the zero duelist comp, they fight really heavily over mid, and once they get into mid, they try and take control of the very center connector. And at that point, they're setting up lurks on lurks on lurks. And that is something that Xset are going to have to be very cautious of.
There is tape on both of these teams on this map, so they're going to be prepped and ready for it, but you're right, Optic's approach. Control that middle section of the map. It really is the lifeblood of the map as well.
So this from Optic looks like they're going to be leaning over towards mid and B. They ran around like this against Loud, where they had a double lurk play, one through mid and one all the way going through A on a B plant. See whether they commit to anything similar.
Cryo can hear this utility coming his way. He's got peace of mind knowing as well that Ali is under pretty good control, and Xset do have that triple player facing the position. They're giving up control of A main.
Nobody's worried about it on either team.
No presence really being made. There's going to be this late lurker in middle. And now the rest of Optic, they are creeping and crawling their way up B long. The jump peaks, I don't think coming up with anything. And look at this. Pulling back the utility. This is Cryo removing his rendezvous. And an explosion onto the site. The Haunt's going to be lighting up the 2 players in Ali, making sure they take control of Elbow. And Marv as well. Really good discipline. Gets the kill, backs away, maybe gets a second. No, Zekken will take care of him.
Great play by Zekken, forces the fight and shuts him down, shuts Marv down, sorry, so that they can fully commit to the retake. Now, how do you flush out these players?
2 players in Elbow. A couple of them are weak. Looks like they want to try and fight over this one. Victor was holding the flash, but FNS takes contact anyway. Only that takes off the heads of Cryo. Another attempt's being made, but just dodging the flash rule, not quite connecting. Down to just Zekken. A lot of life to his name and the rifle as well. Might opt to save it into this one, but I think he just wants to do the economic damage. He knows that they are just trying to escape away with the weapons. A bit of damage gets the bullet tag, but Victor wins it out.
And Optic come away without many weapons. I was going to say with a relatively clean anti-eco, but that B long is deceptively short.
Yeah.
The spike chased them all the way up there. I don't think that's going to have too much impact. They're on the attack side, they got the spike plant down.
Enemy remaining.
Should still be able to get a bit of a buy up.
Yeah, the money should be in an ideal place. Maybe a couple of players on the half armor.
But watch how Marv was playing there in mid-window. He's in that same position again on their attack side. And Optic, their approach seems to be very heavily around setting up lurks, playing the map heavily, instead of going for big execs.
Which is understandable. They're playing a slower comp. There's no duelists at play, at work.
And we just saw such masterful attack IGLing on Haven from FNS.
This fight that might be about to take place. Smoke, that's pulled back and it gets Ye in this forward angle. And he has crossed. They have to expect this one.
Haunt being used to try and clear out some of this B connector, and that allows Victor to jump in, take out the trademark. Is there any response from the defense, though? Not particularly.
Deep knife that's going to be used into art there, but again, patient play from the chamber players. Biding their time, waiting it out, and the spike is starting to make movement now. It looks like they want to go for this B split. Viper Wall's going to be sent straight up. 3 players now working their way around, and Cryo, wow, just playing right within range of his rendezvous. He's going to be getting back to safety, but look at this, it's a complete pivot.
Yeah, the spike is already headed the other way, and this is the value of having mid control. Optic are able to make these mid-round pivots, and Xset, they don't have a clue where the spike is going.
They haven't bit entirely, though, on this. They do have players lurking, waiting at the back of the site, but there's so much pressure on Aaron to try and get value now, especially when all of this explosion, the utility comes his way. Haunt into the back, has to be destroyed. Marved, he capitalizes. Jumps on the space that was created off the back of it. He's going to win out that fight against the Astra player.
And now, crazily, Ye becomes the longest lurk of all time. So far away, and Optic's job is just to buy time for this. They're playing fully off-site.
Xset take this retake a bit more faster if they inject the pace into the round. Ye could find himself on the short end of this, but now to Nightfall, that is going to be creating so many opportunities. Ye, he could get a move on if he wanted to. There's no more sound cues. The pulling them back. A stun on top of it, and there we go. Ye's time to strike. The kill's going this way, that way. It's chaos, it's pure pandemonium. And Ye will strike. One after the other, the players of Xset fall. Just not quite ready for it. And Optic showing so many layers to their game plan on the attack.
We heard from Xset earlier in an interview where I believe it was Cryo declaring that they thought they had the best Pearl in the tournament. And I think that's a pretty reasonable point of view, to be honest. We've seen it twice. It did look excellent. It's a lovely blend that works on the attack and the defense side. But Optic have got some great fundamental macro ideas here. More so than the tactics, just their read on how to push and pull the rotates. Most of that, presumably coming from FNS, has been marvelous in the game against Loud, and an early demonstration of it there.
Operator, seconds acquired at some point during this.
So quick onto that sight line, but just misses the shoulder of Marved.
Yeah, flick of the wrist, not enough.
Given a moment. And Optic prods towards B as a bit of a feint right now. They've left the trademark. This round was clearly supposed to end A. Just trying to add a layer of deception into it.
And honestly, that prior conditioning, all the emphasis being placed by Optic into mid on our attack side rounds means that, look at this, A main is wide open.
And this could lead to FNS getting down a very clean Viper's Pit on the site. The ults here combo up beautifully.
Yeah, and now with the swing through, the Operator taking just not quite catching it onto the mark that he was looking for. Now they're going to start to barrel through. Optic want to try and get this plant down clean, but it's a tap to try and bait the swings. And bait they will. Right through the wall, being watched for. Making sure the angles are there.
But not even requiring the investment of the Viper's Pit. Optic reading what that defensive play would be. And dealing with it. Zekken's just getting out of there. Wants to save the Operator.
We'll keep this one going. Okay. Dangerous. Trademark at his heels. Get out of there.
This is not going to offer any opportunities.
So his goal, just trying to save that Operator, running rings around and laps around the map.
But what another lovely round by Optic.
It is magical.
They press a little bit of attention over towards B, and Xset are worried about mid. Meanwhile, Optic just slide their way into A.
Easy peasy for him. Right, has money to burn here.
You can see that Xset had some ideas of what they wanted to do on the defense side. Yeah. You know, Xset were throwing out a Haunt that lit up a lot of people. They were a bit unfortunate not to get a pick off the back of that. And then also, you know, Zekken trying to use his conks through the Cosmic Divide, but just not quite aware of where the angles are played. Probably just because it's a new map.
Yeah.
But Xset with rifles in hand as we head into round 6.
This is the important one.
There.
Def even with his own null command as well, but how does this round end up being played out? Spike should be waiting for the time being. Optic are quick to take this A main control. It's a Haunt as well to just layer it all in. They are putting such a heavy emphasis into this one, but a reminder, the Spike nowhere near them. All this presence, I think, is just to try and push and pull these rotations.
Yeah, this is a weird round because Xset didn't bite whatsoever, just playing for mid control.
For mid! FNSC does fall. Swing attempt from Victor.
That's pretty beautiful. And the chamber battle goes the way of Ye over on B long.
Yeah, so B theoretically now should be open for them. Normally they've just got Cryo holding that deeper angle.
But they won't have FNS's Viper Wall to work off. So this is still going to be a little bit of a struggle. And Marv on the lurk. This time, Arin catches it. Nice to see Arin already adapting to the way that Optic want to play the lurks.
Optic with no Viper Wall. Opting to just contact their way into the site, make sure that they not only start now making the noise cues, but work their way into the site. The spike is going to be planted per second. He's already in. One shot to the head, that's Victor dealt with, but somehow the Fragment gets some pretty tremendous value of BCJ falling. Still that 2v2 though, and they have to deal with the elbow control. Ye sets himself up into this angle. Fast lane. Cross now, the overdrive, and now a bit of a stun sent flying. He's got over his head, and Ye, while he strikes, the backstab in play, and crashes. He finds the target that he was hunting for there. Arin just none the wiser.
That's an absurd situation. I mean, if Zekken is able to get the stun onto Ye, or at least know where he is, or, I mean, the stun does connect, but if he's able to just glance down, I think this round probably goes the way of Xset.
But such intelligent play by Ye though, in the blind spot.
Yes, instantly tucking himself under. And Optic's game plan is working here. Xset are now going to go for some A aggression. Zekken leading the charge again on the light buy with the only rifle that Xset have claimed. He pokes in, nobody's seen. All right, time to pivot. Xset are already on the rotate, trying to gamble here.
Yeah. It would be a correct gamble if they can get to B in time. Smoke was propped up. Milkman though cutting across. Arin is holding very close angle here with the Viper's pit down. Do they want to try and play fast inside of it? It's just waiting a timeout, Marved! Right from just making sure the late lurks get incredible value. Love the way the Optic are playing this as well. It's so cautious in their approach. They laid down the Viper's pit, but nobody was playing inside of it because they're so aware of how to play into this one. No casualties, prime game flawless, all the guns carried forwards into the next round.
And it feels like every time we start a map, Brent, one team is going on a 5, 6, 7 round win streak. What a beautiful play there, by the way, from Optic. And I've been talking about the lurk plays the entire time. It's clear when you watch the VODs that that's how Optic wants to set this up. But that means you're playing retake with this comp. And how comfortable are Xset on that? Tough to know.
It's been half of them. Cryo now with the operator. Nice stuns to set that one up, slow down a bit of the presence that Optic are showing in mid. But it's a similar game plan from what we've seen from them in the past. Just make sure that you poke and prod, and drag the bodies, the defensive protocol. You're just trying to basically upset what Xset are running. Prowler in the face, that has to be respect shown, and of course the rendezvous to safety. And they have taken alley control. Optic, bit of a triple face right into the line. Aside of it though, it's just going to be that 1-for-1.
And Zekken, did he hear them rotate out there? In the midst of all of this, Ye is taking space on the opposite side of the map. Does Cryo
seems aware.
pay attention to it?
And he has found. Yeah, you just unscoped at just the wrong moment for it.
And the chamber play for Xset has found all the value in this round. Def as well, finding the timing to pop off his null command. And this feels like everything here. Yeah. They've even read the lurk plays. If there was a lurk happening on the other side of the map, Zekken's position in mid would be perfect to deal with it. And BCJ's still watching for anything crazy happening on A.
Zekken can hear the footsteps running of Marv. He can hear them just barreling their way through.
Left.
And he only hears one, so he looks for the second player first.
Timing is everything.
Before following Marv.
Listen, it's all about the timing. FNSC sees the mark, he calls it to Marv. Marv knows now he can pincer him. And Zekken gets dealt with. Rotations are being made though, and Xset, they do have bodies here to shut this one down. The crossfire, it's a whiffage. But Def eventually cleans up the mistakes, and with only 7 seconds remaining, FNS has to get this spike down. He has to plant it. A tap to force the fight, and you just have to stick it there. You're not playing to your outs.
Not in the slightest. So Optic let one slip away that could have been recovered. It would have been, it would have taken something spectacular to recover it. But it was within the realm of possibility, and Optic have let that one drift away from them. An opportunity missed, perhaps. But on the other side of things, gotta give credit to Xset's adaptation there. They had a nice play pushing Cryo into an area of the map where he could have more impact, as in mid, playing around double doors. They caught Ye, who was trying to take space on B, and then they got aggressive with Zekken in the mid round. All very good adaptations coming out of the timeout.
Yeah.
And starting out here again with a very spread default from Optic, stuff that we've seen before from them. Viper Wall goes up, Prowler towards B, trying to pull anybody away from that area of the map as they instantly take the spike towards mid and A.
If the name of the game is to try and punish a lot of these deep lurks. Right now, not too much presence being shown by Xset in mid, just making sure that they hold Ali and Art ever so slightly.
Yeah, the trademark being used on B here as well so that they can stack players more towards mid and A on the defense. But that also leaves B link open.
Oh,
Cryo.
He saw the gun and a jiggle. Yeah, not going to be enough to try and offset that one. Still, Ye has opened things up on the other side of things.
It's all on Aaron here.
Another split attempt to try and come through. Ye finds the target, finds the timing. Pure, intelligent play from him. But a Nightfall will scatter them to the win now and pushes back Optic once more. They don't have space being gained by a lurk player this time. What's the play? Has to be to try and cut noise and re-hit, but with Marv being dealt with, it feels a little bit unorthodox, I think, their approach to this attack side round. All the players are lurking in mid. There's 25 seconds left.
And BCJ's got the read here. Ye was thinking about going for it.
He's backing away now.
Cryo being alive as well is just giving them constant information on the trademark. There's no time for this.
Left. Dev could just stop this in his tracks and he hears them running. Fragment nade. Stops them down in their tracks. Has to be the plan now. FNS off to the side and a bit of spam will do the job. And no more time on the clock for them. You have to force the fights. But Optic have been bamboozled.
And it's another really good round from Xset with their adaptations. Gotta say, Cryo again, finding another area where he can have impact. And you might say, oh, well, it's just lucky that he's playing on A and they happen to go towards him, but the Prowler used earlier on gave him the information to stay posted on A and gave him that first kill. He comes back, collects Marved, and meanwhile, the trademark positioning.
What's been happening so far? So right back into it. Map number 3 here. Xset and Optic fighting for that minimum third place spot. Chance to face off against Loud, deeper in the bracket.
And you're right, Bren, it was just that concussion blast early to set Cryo up on the angle. They used a 0 point as well from Def and didn't see anything. So 3 players are going to move over to A.
They've completely given up mid.
This middle area of the map, Optic use it so well. Because most teams will just use it to rotate between A and B. But for Optic, they'll push deep into your own spawn and look at them go.
Yeah, this is just a massive gulf, a lack of information. Zekken was forced to jump peek that just to see what his players are, but it could be anywhere by now.
And now Def is stuck in spawn just watching this little cubby hole.
He has to watch this angle.
Because otherwise, if anyone slips through it, it's a disaster for the defense.
And either side just watching for the right moment. It's Ye who takes first contact. Cosmic Divide cuts its way across, and FNS, how has he found his timing?
Def got pulled into the site.
Right in between them, and he takes out Zekken.
The way that Optic work the map is just sublime.
Just down to Cryo. Spike planted, post-plant positioning. Cryo wants nothing to do with it.
And Bren, you just simply cannot give Optic the middle of the map on
You can't give them that space.
You can't, because they work magic with the middle of the map like nobody else. Just that small moment sums up a lot of the game plan from Optic. They get the middle of the map. You could see FNS thinking about what timing to take, and he waits until there's a pick on A, and Def is forced to come and help.
Yeah.
And as soon as Def is forced to come and help, FNS has got it, the map in his mind of where everyone's going to be, and just slinks on through.
And it seems like it is a heavy emphasis for Optic to try and land their way on the A side. Whenever they got the Cosmic Divide to make their mark, Cryo will make it just that bit more expensive, but there is money in the bank of Optic for them to take risks.
It's a consolation prize, isn't it? Xset had some really nice adaptations to stop Optic what they were doing, but FNS and Chet have instantly responded. And when Ye is able to give you these kind of openings, whoa, it really can be the first breath of air that knocks down the house of cards. Difference. This is the battle for who's on top in North America, but who makes that upper bracket final. The minimum top 3, and Xset have struggled so far on their defensive side. Optic looking to make some serious, real pressure towards the B side. This is almost always a fake, and the trademark is going to let them know this time it's real.
Yeah, there's actually some bite behind this one, all the utility that was being used that way, but they have slowed this one down in time enough to potentially bait rotations. But look, Xset, they're cautious about it. They've been expecting so many lurks. It's happened almost every single round up until this point.
But there's no one there. Crashies has the spike right now. If Crashies does get it down, he'll have Nightfall available.
Horns over the top, has to be dealt with there. Prowler sent straight through, a bit of spam as well. Victor is so low, but elbow control needs to be taken. And second, no choice but to hold down Mouse 1, try and spray them down. Now a Nightfall on top of it. Optic, you do not want to let Xset set up for this fast retake.
Not killing Victor there has double the problems too, because he's just popped null command. Got it online with the kill on Zek.
And look at how worried they are of these lurks. Watching Ali, watching behind them.
The crazy conditioning from Optic.
Yeah, and Xset just kept guessing, wondering. But now they're going to be striking. Cosmic Divide is going to be layering it this down. It's going to be passing the site a little bit for them to be able to take this.
What a play!
Forwards! BCJ, what a play! But still down to that 2v2. And Marv inside, outside, his own smoke and the wall. That's going to seal the deal with that round. 7th on the board for Optic.
Last round in the half.
And this really has been a map from Marv. 3 kills in the round, goes up to the top of the scoreboard for Optic. And he's had a very quiet tournament so far. We haven't really talked much about, Marv and whether or not he's been up there with the best players in the world, etc. That's normally a narrative for every one of Optic's tournaments. Yeah. He's actually been quite quiet. This is his first great map where he's taken control completely over the attack side.
And that prior conditioning. We're talking about it, Xset were just waiting around, holding for just phantoms, people who would never really show up.
They were quivering.
Just trying to hold for those late lurks. And Optic, well, okay, why not? Another fast play coming over towards the B side of the map. And again, nobody lurking, only this time Xset have taken the initiative in mid. All that space going to be gained. They are holding for a late lurk, and Cryo could be the difference maker. Inside the smoke, waiting it out.
So tough for him, though. People can get into the smoke from any direction. And he's just inside this
Off to the
play.
side, poke flash play, Victor. Blinded himself more than the opposition, yet still comes up with the kill, still with the goods. And now it's down to Aaron. Plant online, has to prioritize the control of the objective. Whips out the pistol. Aaron, you can't be getting away with that, son. But it's not over yet. Prowler going to be sent flying through. Def is going to get the Resurrect online, but now they are swinging for it. The punishment, not quite there. Victor wanted to make the play. Sidestepping it, sees connects. Yado putting in so much work. The 10 points, the angle, and an instantaneous trade and play.
Yay, finding 3. And the back-to-back B hits after the timeout working perfectly for Optic. They are deep in the minds of the Xset players, and they've utterly controlled this half. It's
just the way that Optic have been doing over the last 2 maps that they've played.
Can Xset take down the uncrowned kings of North America? Grouped up over towards A on the pistol here. And Xset were able to take the pistol round for the first time on Pearl in the series. Another one would certainly start this comeback going, but Optic look like they're set up for this. Are they just contacting all the way into Crashies?
All the way into the sidelines. And Crashies at the back. But listen, he throws out the haunt, expecting no one to be near him.
Wow.
And Xset capitalized. They swarmed the site.
What a pistol round. That is beautiful. And such an anti-strat.
Yeah. Really ready for Crashies, just holding that one angle down. But his pistol round is not over yet. Takar making their way in, weaving their way in. Nobody's watching for this. FNS somehow lurked and found that timing and found that kill. But a BCJ, there was no trade instantaneously there. There has to be a pull. They're trying to block it, but it pulls it right into the line of sight of BCJ.
Being able to take down Marv there is pivotal. Yay, comes around the corner. Headhunter, 4 bullets available.
Faster play has to be made, but a bit of run and gun is the play. And a pistol round gain for Xset. What they needed to stand a chance of the comeback being enacted on this side of the map.
These pistols have just been absurd. 4 going to Optic in the beginning 2 maps, and then both in the hands of Xset. It just feels like the team that's behind always is able to grab a pistol and make a comeback possible. This now, if Xset are able to convert round 14, puts them within 2 and makes it essentially an even game again. And I want to point out this defensive setup from Optic. They've been playing in the game against Loud almost every defensive round. They had both Ye and Marv playing on B. Ye was not active, not rotating around the map. He was just letting the play come to him. And that to me indicates that Xset have openings that they can go for. They can just dodge Ye on this map if they want to, and keep hammering sight hits into A, where FNS is mostly solo anchoring.
Against the Eco, not opting to avoid the common position that he is playing. Take the fight to him. Ye, make sure he hugs the pillar close. Doesn't want to reveal himself, but now he takes the timing. And he's rewarded with a kill, in fact. There is a trade at play, but it's value at the end of the day when you're playing with just the headhunter bullets. Hot flash there from Optic. They don't want to be giving up this site, and it's a pull to disrupt this one. No elbow control, and now a slide and a dash all the way in. Xset definitely taking names and making sure that they take all the space on the site.
And this B site hit is what Xset love to do with the Neon, and that's why I think noting where Ye is playing on the map is so important, because if Xset want to get value out of that Neon fast lane into a slide towards elbow, they're going to have to go through Ye repeatedly to do it. And that's a dangerous player to have to battle every round. But also, you could see that Optic had an idea of how to deal with it. As the fast lane went up, there's a suck towards the back, it stops Second from getting in there, and he saves the slide for after that gravity well disappears.
Clearly cut up that crosshair placement.
Clearly prep on both sides here.
Yeah.
And once more, Ye is going to be playing on the B side of the map, but this time FNS also over there.
They don't break the knife though, Josh. Optic are going to get full information. I think that tagged onto multiple targets.
And this is an extremely fast flank coming out from Marv.
Because they know. They have a lot of info with the knife tagging all of them, that they can take all this space. Now you can look at this. I mean, just liberties being taken by Marv.
Xset working their way through mid here. Some good weaponry as well. 3 rifles. Makes this bonus round extremely vicious.
They could do some serious damage. Has to hold down the angle, almost pays through with his life.
That box is thin.
And now the stun's letting them rip all the way through. Cryo with the late lurk. Down! That Hort actually tagged him. Bit of spam in play, but eventually traded. They need to clear out this corner angle, though. To the back of the side as Secret Crashes could still do some massive work for them, but he has to respect the Prowler. Backing away, removes both of them and playing inside the fast lane, but no one wading into his line of sight.
Do they expect Marv to be this fast?
What?
Oh, what a shot through the box.
Right through the box, but just cannot claim the second one. To 2v3 now, and Xset, despite the fact that it is their bonus round, committing the ultimates with the Nightfall across. Yay, the last bastion of this one on the retake. And he just doesn't have the money to spend. A 1v3 is just not capable of doing it. He makes the percentage play. And Xset are going to be securing up their own bonus.
Every map has been a comeback. I know we took a long time out and it might feel like eons ago that we were in Haven. But each one of these maps has been 8-4, 9-3 at the half and then an astounding comeback from the other team. Optic secured the first one, just missed the second. And now it's Xset on the other side of things. Making miracles happen there with pistol and bonus round in play. And it's the small things, Brent, that show me that both of these teams have watched tape of each other. Even as Xset get into the A side, they're spamming the common positions.
Yeah.
As they come in, FNS when he's anchoring is almost always going to be playing in that secret area. And Zeken's spamming it to try and rid anyone from playing in that spot.
Yeah.
So the deeper this goes, and the more the teams get hungry to advance to the upper finals, the more we're going to have to go into improvisational territory.
And it is just pure mind games. One on top of the other against the IGLs.
And look at Ye. Ye prodding into A main, the opposite side of the map.
He's got the rifle. It's a hero purchased by him. In fact, he saved it from the prior round. Marved, okay. Really deep angle to be pushing with here, but he does have the Bulldog ADS.
And Aaron's just hiding behind this pillar in a spot that is so difficult to clear out.
Yeah, really difficult. VCJ though, Prowler, now they know. And it latches, the connection onto Marv, he couldn't see a thing.
What a clearance.
Good utility. That's going to be forcing at least some rotations. I think the footsteps should have been heard there by Cryo.
Yeah, definitely. Cryo could try and take a timing to break the trademark on the other side of the door, but just feeding that information to the rest of the team. Now here's the issue. They're going to be funneled into Ye.
El Diablo, he's been able to get value before. Hero rifle. One angle. One shot typically is all it takes for him, but the reposition ever so slightly now, and it all comes down to this because Xset are contacting all the way, and it's a sidestep, a bait of it. BCJ is so fast to instantaneously punish. It's not over just yet though. Victor does make a tremendous attempt there. Kill into the opposition, and the players are ready and waiting, but they just fall and line up, one after the other, holding the necessary angles, and a spike plan at the end of it. Xset getting the extra pocket change to carry forward into that next round.
Clean round from Xset, and that got so dangerous. There was 30 seconds left as they go into Ye on the A site. And BCJ does an amazing job clearing out the dangerous players on both sides of the map. From that doesn't actually look that impressive from BCJ's point of view. From Ye, he had no chance to react.
It looks instantaneous.
Overall, great work of the map by Xset, and very diligent in terms of how they're clearing out these tough angles.
And are we going to see another clash? Knife over the top. Should be landing, I think, on the pillar. Yeah, it does. So Xset are now aware that there's no one holding close on there. Behind the pillar or in the cubby. And Yedo is watching the angle again. ADS with the rifle. He's a menace. One shot is what he's looking for, but it's just the discipline again by Xset. Fast lane sent across. Now the execute has to come through. Bit of raw spam. Marv is ready. He's holding down elbow. Wants to take the fight to them, but ends up losing and paying with his life. Dev's going to be dropped to his knees, obviously, with the no command in play, but not really in a resible position. They can't quite pick him up. So what is the play? A spike plan. Yay! Finds it. Heaven is open for him. What? Play has to be made. Yay! They just run straight into him.
I mean, how does Ye stay alive for that long on the site and still deliver so many kills? That's absurd. Absolutely absurd. And also, huge credit to Marv, who's anchoring in this position, knowing exactly that Zekken is going to push through there, weaves his way through the stuns, and shuts down the entry player from Xset.
Enemy remaining.
Flash elbow there. What the fuck did he do?
And that actually a great point from Marv. They do need to flash elbow. They need to add extra utility in to help Zekken challenge those players in the back of B. I mean, Marv is literally anti-stratting himself live. All they need to do is listen.
Deeper Viper Wall, though. This is a difference that we're seeing now from Optic.
And Optic have gone for this play a couple of times now. One of the great things about this Viper Wall is that FNS can hide behind it if they have to fall back from this aggressive spot. And FNS is just trying to...
What's the contact for Victor?
It's FNS.
To the side,
FNS is just trying to drag it all out.
Yep, and that's the play being made! Mows them down! Live in action! Gave a slight return once more. Let's see it. The third kill for him. Prime at Gaming, flawless.
What a beautiful defensive setup there from Optic.
And a great read that Xset would just pivot and try and go into that A-push.
Yeah, love this play. FNS is just drawing all of the utility towards himself like a sponge and providing the perfect moment for Victor to pop flash himself out.
Nice! Let's go!
And Chet is so happy because you can theory craft all the ideas you like on a map, but until you see them work in a high pressure match, you don't know whether they're going to actually gather results. And that is what's happening here. All of that hard work from Optic is paying off on here, on Pearl.
Zekken
really wants he really wants to pop his ult. But this is FNS hiding behind his wall again.
He's going to force out that own no command. Victor's going to be using that to push back the aggression. As soon as they hear the ultimates coming through, it means that Zekken can't initiate for them. He doesn't have the overdrive for at least a couple of seconds.
But now this also means that they've waited out FNS's wall. So now he's just stuck in a one and done.
Yeah, honestly, this is...
Oh, good flash to keep them back and buy more time for the Viper to regen the fuel.
Not only that as well, Zekken just doesn't have any more fuel in the tank for his own overdrive. The ultimate's faded. That's what he was hoping for. They are getting so much value out of the KO. The Haunt lights up tremendous amounts of targets. Like I said, haven't really done any prior control of the rest of the map.
And there's no lurkers. You know, contrast it to one of the Optic rounds, they would have tried to lurk somebody through at this point.
So they are pivoting right through mid, and Ye has just been locking down the angle every single time. There's a trade at work.
There.
Gonna be going down without a fight. Oh, the timing on the Prowler. And Cryo, caught none the wiser. Nightfall on top of it, but they have completely vacated. This time there's a pivot into Art. No trademark to stop them in their tracks. Maybe a late push from second through main, but he's only got the shorty to his name as well as that. Here comes the util dump. Crashes could be everything with the timing behind them, and a fight is still being made. Flashes on flashes. Util once more barreling its way into the back of things, and it is pushing back the approach. How has Second got into this position, but still shut down? The Xset players just cannot withstand it.
So many layers of defense. That's one of the biggest strengths of this Zero Duelist comp, is that you just have utility for days. Xset tried to go for a very bog standard A main push, and there was no chance.
30 seconds.
Wave after wave of defensive utility held them back. And when the pivot came through, it's a combination of Yay and Crashies that shut it down.
Give me some. Give it a John. Give it a John. And the momentum is there on the side of Optic, trying to pave their way to claim the rightful place at minimum top 3. Their rightful place to rematch against Loud.
All roads seem to lead to Optic and Loud.
No complaints from him. It doesn't ever happening, but Xset, I want to put up a fight. Want to try and avoid it. Cryo just about gets out.
And that's the danger of the Astra there.
So punishing.
The suck is so powerful at trying to deny that line. Or pop your own smoke to try and push up. Yeah, he still wants to play within his rendezvous here. And just dodges.
It's a brutal one.
But these are the kind of rounds where, if you know that Ye is here, you'd be expected to try and dodge him. But instead, it looks like Xset want to hammer their head into this tour de force and try and remove Ye by force.
The Prowler was destroyed as well. They're covering for Ye, making sure that he can hold the angle. Smoke onto the one side. Now a Prowler to try and make their way through. It does. Again, latch onto a target. But what is the play here for Xset? I mean, forced up into this. It's a necessary round to win. And Optic have got all the reads in the world. The 3-player setup to try and anchor this one and hold it back, and they're making so much noise. It's so obvious for Xset. But here comes the fast lane and the Nightfall. Makes his way across the site to try and take that elbow control. Someone needs to deal with this though. The Haunt, it lights up Death. Makes him an easy target again, and they line up for him. Holding close to the corner, an instantaneous trade nevertheless. Aaron still wants to make his mark on this round, and the Cosmic Divide will at least help them out for now.
Yeah, really good ult to make this one doable, but Aaron is losing health
No
at a
time.
rapid rate.
He's vulnerable! And the percentage play, you just have to save. They've got the angles, they're swarming them from every possible position, and Optic get a series point.
You heard from FNS the mutual respect across the aisle towards their North American rivals, but this has been an absolute masterclass today. The way that Optic are moving things around, I mean, I don't think Marv intended to grab 2 there, but Marv moving his defensive anchor positions around the map as well to deal with how Xset are coming in. And it feels inexorable. It feels like in these big matches, Optic have just got that extra little bit, the extra 1% to push them over the edge.
I've been missed. You're absolutely right, Josh. All the experience that Optic have gained, well versed in these situations, these scenarios. It comes down to this for Xset, a must-win round. 4 in a row to bring it to the OT, otherwise Optic sailing themselves away for that Loud rematch, that minimum top 3.
And after Xset won the pistol in the bonus round, plus the following ecos, that they just haven't had anything in these rifle rounds. Optic have always had the lead. This is a much quieter approach. Trying not to give away.
Trying to cut the noise, Ye goes down.
That's a huge one. Anytime you can drop Ye early.
Forcing a fight, the Haunt's going to get broken there. Crashies looks like he still wants to fight, still wants to play.
But they're not worried about B at all.
Just backing away. It looks like they got the correct read on this because that's what the spike's leaning that way. And a late lurk by Marv. He's all the way behind them. He's got them all the information in the world. Sees at the back of the site though. This is the danger zone. They do reward themselves. They get the kill. They spam it through the wall at the end of the day. It's down to Crashies and Marv. Can they do the heroics? Can they make the big play?
Marv has had such a monstrous map
All the
here.
space in the world! Contact through and a spray down! Crashies has found his target. A stick on the spike, there needs to be a play, but it's being watched for, and Crashies scot-free, gets away with it. Optic are making their way through that upper bracket.
That's you guys. That's you guys.
Game, set, and match to the uncrowned kings in North America. They move on. Top 3 in every global event.